Oh, hi there. Welcome to Theater of the Mind Players. My name is Rob Whelan. I'm an author, game designer, and professional nerd. And I am joined by our fabulous Theater of the Mind Player cast to play a lovely fantasy game here as part one of our Heists for the Holidays one-shots that we're going to be doing the next couple of months.
There's no place like heists for the holidays. For the holidays, ain't nothing like a heist.
And that concludes our musical episode for, as required by Nerd Contract. We're very excited to present this game, which is called Boxshot. Dusk City Outlaws. It is a role-playing game by Rodney Thompson, whose name you may recognize as the designer of Lords of Waterdeep. This is a fantasy-themed heist game, so if you're a fan of media like Ocean's 11 or Leverage, you're going to see a lot of things here that I think you're going to enjoy. But before we get too deep into the rules and how we play the game, I do want to go around and introduce our lovely and talented Theater of the Mind players for this episode. Let's start, if I could have everybody introduce themselves and introduce your character that's part of this crew that's been brought together to pull off a heist in the fantasy city of New Dunhaven. So let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Ethan Eichstedt Anderson. I make things, I play games, that's what I do. I'll be playing Ivan Vanchenko, basically fantasy Russians. They're a part of, basically their area got destroyed, so they migrated into Dusk City.
So they're Ukrainians.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Probably more Ukrainians. And I'm playing a sharpshooter.
So he is a member of a cartel that is called the Circle, and he is a sharpshooter for that particular cartel. Each member of the crew is a member of a particular cartel, except for one of us. And that will kind of tell you sort of their motif, I guess, for lack of a better word. So let's move on to our next Theater of the Mind player.
Hi, my name is Tawny Thompson. I am an actor and fight choreographer in Milwaukee. Yeah. I will be playing Cordelia Maupin. She is a member of the Mummers gang. So basically, traveling actors.
Who also happen to be criminals.
Who happen to also be grifters. So yeah, she likes sword fighting and stealing shit.
All right, and let's move on to the tragic corner of our of our players on this side.
Oh God,
our method role player.
Yeah.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. I'm Danielle Bryn. I am an actor, model, and voiceover artist in the Midwest. I am playing Drusilla Frost. She is a member of the Grave Diggers cartel. We deal with everything death, decay, and dying. And I am playing the specialty of a pallbearer, which is really just sorcery time. So basically, my character looks like me, but also based upon this. Yeah. Very excited for some spooky stuff.
All right, and let's go on to our next Theater of the Mind player on the other side.
Hello, I'm Tony Cheek. I am an actor and a writer. I will be playing Remy LeBeau, who is a independent cleaner. He is the one character in this group who does not belong to any cartel at all whatsoever.
You can't tie him down. He's
no.
I mean,
he just has to clean things.
Yeah.
He's a leader on the wind. Watch him.
He's a slave to cleaning. Yeah. That's
He's
all
a
he
sponge
is.
on a stick.
He's monk.
With that name, I'm surprised you didn't actually take the gambler archetype.
But I was tempted.
You were tempted?
I was tempted.
That's fine.
For all you Breaking Bad fans out there, he's basically Mike.
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 Just Mike.
I can't remember his
Or
last name.
Mr. Kaplan from Blacklist.
Yeah.
Or Mike.
Or the wolf from Pulp Fiction. And last but certainly not least,
Hi, my name is Jordan Fishburne. I'm a lover of RPGs. My character today is Mary Tam. She is from the Red Lotus Society cartel, one of the Tau heavy cartels here, pretty heavily based off of China, all that
Asia,
fun
yeah.
stuff, yeah. I'm the dragon, which means I make things explode.
so as you can see,
Long
we're going to
and
have a
short.
very subtle game of quiet sneaking, and no, it's probably not going to go that way. Okay.
When do we ever?
When do we ever? That's true. Like, all of the things that you see here, all of the cards, and you'll be seeing some of the other pieces are all part of the box set. And one of the reasons we chose Dusk City Outlaws for our game today is because it is a very excellent pick-up-and-play RPG. It's a great game where you choose the specialty and you choose the cartel. You kind of make a few notes and write down some things on some character sheets that are included, and you are ready to play. Basically, while they were making these choices and decisions for their characters, I was flipping through the various jobs that are available in the rulebook to get things set up on my end. So you crack this box open, within 30 minutes, both the GM and the players are ready to go. But we decided to keep one thing on camera, and that is the deck of quirks. I'm going to deal 3 quirks to each player. I'm gonna try some Remy LeBeau stuff here. No, if
really
you want to
game
pass
going.
those 3 down
Slices
to
us in the face.
pass those 3. You take those 3. I'm giving each player 3 quirks. They're going to choose one and give the other 2 back to me.
Take one.
Yes. While they're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about the rules, so we're not just sort of sitting on dead air. This game is a percentiles game, much like for those of you who may have seen us playing Chill. Runs where each of them have skills that are based on a percentile chance. They're going to roll 2d10, and if the number comes underneath their skill level, that means that they're going to succeed. Now they have very high skills here because this is not a heist story where they inevitably fail. The trick comes in with these 2 different types of dice. We have advantage dice and challenge dice. The advantage dice have boon symbols. The challenge dice have drawback symbols. So if they're in a position where they're at an advantage, I'm going to roll these dice, and if they come up with the particular symbols, if they come up with a boon symbol, that means that they may get a little extra thing in addition to succeeding or failing. If they come up with a drawback symbol, they're probably going to have to achieve a little more success or deal with a complication that they weren't expecting. Heist stories like this aren't about necessarily succeeding or failing on the rolls. When you tune into an episode of Leverage or watch a Ocean's 11, you're going to assume that the good guys are competent enough that they're going to pull off the heist. But the fun of these stories are the complications that are unexpected that you want to see the heroes be clever enough to get around. And that's where the complication dice and the boon dice come in. So, I think I have vamped long enough so that everybody has chosen their thing.
I had to roll a die.
Oh, I have to roll a die?
I had to.
Okay.
I couldn't pick.
I thought the
I did
quirk...
evens one, odds the other. And...
I thought the quirk was you had to roll a die and a thing happened. Okay. So these guys can introduce their quirks as they are relevant to the thing, or if you use the ability that the quirk gives you. Of course you chose that.
I could use a bit of background info for my quirk.
Sure.
Ex-blooded.
Ah.
Who are the blooded?
Oh, well, excellent. So, in the city of New Dunhaven, aka the titular Dusk City, there are criminal gangs called the cartels, and they run most of the crime in the city. Many of those cartels have joined together and signed the Accord, which is basically a sort of peace treaty between the different cartels in the city. One notable exception to this rule are the Blooded. They are the one criminal gang that basically said, you know what, screw you, we're criminals, we don't have to cut any deals. And so they often find themselves as the bad guys to the activities of the cartels. So as an ex-Blooded, you were part of those bad guys for a while, but then you decided to join up with the Gravediggers for whatever reason. Perhaps because you discovered your latent supernatural abilities and figured that they would be easier to... it'd be easier for you to learn from actual other pallbearers rather than out on the streets. So, okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the heist.
Were we introducing our quirks quick?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're
live.
Okay.
We're going to do the quirks as you bring them into play. What we're going to do is I'm going to set the scene where everybody introduces, or we bring everybody together to get the job from the broker. As we introduce your characters, I'd like to do short little cutaways of you, rather than, oh, my character is this tall and wears a thing and a hat and has a thought. Think of it like a heist movie where it cuts back to showing what your character's specialty is. So narrate a short little scene of you doing something cool, and then it cuts back to you, there's a freeze frame, and then your name shows up on the bottom of the thing. So, we begin in the wee hours of the morning at what appears to be a crime scene. There is an alchemist's shop that is located in the High Road Barony, a merchant district of New Dunhaven. And it is clearly been busted up. There are windows that are shattered. The shingle hanging off of the door is dangling by one chain instead of the normal two, and there is a variety of strange colored smoke pouring out of the alchemy shop. And there is a tall, thin man with short white hair who is watching the shop smoke and smolder with his hand on his face. There is a brief freeze frame of the shot, and the name underneath is Wraith Abernathy. And then in parentheses underneath, the broker. A person comes walking up to him and whispers, the person is hooded and wearing a plague doctor mask, the big mask with the big long nose, and whispers something to him. Excellent. And Wraith turns on his heel, and as soon as he turns, his face lights up, and he looks at the camera and says, I'm so glad that you have all been able to promptly answer my application for employment. Now, let's see if I can guess who you are. Who wants to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Me or me? Or
Me or me?
Not you, but you. So describe your character, describe the scene that shows off her specialty, and then end with the character with name and what your specialty is.
Sure. So I look like me right now.
Easy.
This. My specialty is sorcery with a
with a double major in journalism and
Sorcery with a double major in spooky and necromancy. So I can animate the dead for whatever purposes I need, which I feel like is probably mostly intimidation. So I think you see a cutaway shot of me just kind of walking through some smoke with a suspended dead body with their eyes open and their neck like cracked in an unnatural position, and they're just saying like, "Help me," and then I let them drop to the ground.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Who wants to follow that?
Oh, am I supposed to introduce myself
Yes.
to the dude? What's his name?
Wraith Abernathy.
Wraith or Wraith?
Wraith, as in the
Wraith.
spooky thing.
Oh, delightful.
He is a fellow gravedigger.
Oh, Wraith, delightful to see you. So glad I could assist you on this little outing.
It is always nice to see you, Drusilla.
So, what kind of friends have you assembled for this job?
Who wants to jump in on that?
I can go next.
Okay.
Mary Tam is just sort of does a nod. And it cuts away to her exiting a building, just cracking her neck, and then behind her, just the entire building explodes.
I recognize this scene.
And it does just a cutaway title,
Mm-hmm.
The Dragon.
So
I'm supposed to say pallbearer. But
that's okay.
screwed it up.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine. So just so you for those keeping score at home, within 5 minutes you've already had a levitating dead body in an exploding building. So
Wait, were we supposed to be subtle?
are you ever?
No.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go. So basically, camera cuts to me. I strike a match, start lighting my cigarette, first cigar, and the background changes, and all of a sudden it's me still lighting my cigar, but instead I'm out on the streets. I start a big crew of outlaws go into a saloon. They shoot up the place. All you hear is gunfire while my guy's just smoking a cigar. They leave, and then all of a sudden I just whistle, and then all of a sudden all these guys come out and they follow me into the saloon. They start picking up all the bodies, cleaning up all the things. I slowly walk to the bar, grab a drink, take a drink. By the time I'm done drinking, they're out, and I give the bartender some cash not to say anything.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And well, what is your title and name?
My name is Remy LeBeau, the cleaner.
All right. That's awesome.
I'll go next. So you see this massive, tatted up dude with bald head, and they're planning out what they're going to do for their next job. And they walk away and leave, and there's a 13-year-old kid with a crossbow shooting pigeons behind him that he couldn't see because it was completely blocked. And then he follows them on their job. They completely fuck it up, and he cleans up, kills everyone, and goes home.
And what is your name and title?
My name is Ivan Vanchenko. I'm a sharpshooter.
And I believe you're also playing into your flaw there?
Oh yeah, my quirk is fresh-faced. This is my first time on a job.
Love it. All right, and our final crew member.
Not to be kept waiting, my name is Cordelia Maupin. You may call me D if you feel the need. We cut to a scene at dawn on a stone bridge. And you see Cordelia grinning as she looks at a gentleman with a blade and says, "Are you sure you wish to partake in this duel, sir?" He laughs, thinking that he's going to win, and commence the fight scene as we see a raven flittering around the people watching the fight, stealing little trinkets and shinies from them. As Cordelia puts the gentleman on the ground very quickly, shouting something to the effect of, "Thou mammering half-witted lewdster," and stealing his change purse, and saying, "Do you object to the fact that I've won?" And he looks scared as she walks away and says, "Rosencrantz, to me." and walks away.
Ravencrantz.
Ooh,
Is it Ravencrantz?
Ravencrantz.
It's Ravencrantz.
Ravencrantz.
I love
Hucklet! No.
I love that choice of a raven so much. I think that's a great pet.
Right?
That's your thing?
That's my quirk. Is I have a pet raven named Ravencrantz.
Which is going to be probably our first fan art. So,
It's a mouth full of jewels, like a little brooch.
Little brooch.
no, he's in the background of every shot.
He does have a tiny little necklace with a little jewel on it.
His partner is named Gilden Turtle.
Gilden Turtle. Ravencrantz and Gilden Turtle.
Not Gilden Toad.
Gilden Toad.
Gilden Toad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Toadenstern.
Toadenstern. Okay, that's better. It's better.
All right. Well, now that we've got this really weird animated series up and running,
Ravencrantz and Toadenstern.
the Abernathy has set up a small makeshift table. Well, he hasn't. Half a dozen of the plague mask minions have set up basically a makeshift desk out of a door and a couple of crates, and has set up bits and pieces that are not smoldering from the wreckage of the shop for you to all sit upon as he talks about the job that he's brought you here to do.
I stand with my arm on the back of a chair instead of sitting.
Of course.
Swoosh my cape out behind me and just very daintily sit down and I motion for one of the plague doctors to bring me a cup of tea.
Mary just leans back, super chill.
And then I think I just lightly pet the plague mask, just after they give me the tea, I'm just like, thanks, darling.
Yeah. All right.
Ravencrantz is sitting on my shoulder.
Yeah.
He moves to the back of the chair.
So,
Okay, I'm done.
we are. So this job, says Abernathy, involves stealing a ceremonial necklace from the dead body of a noble without the family noticing. The item in question is called the Necklace of Eternal Slumber. It is a bejeweled piece of funeral ornamentation which will be placed upon the body of the recently deceased Mariana Gorgov, a noble and distant member of the royal family. It is an heirloom of the Gorgov family, stored in a secret location until it is brought out when the family matriarch passes on. The necklace will be placed upon her body at a wake, and then remain on her until sunset on the day she is interred in the Gorgov family tomb. Between those events, the body will be transported through the city via funeral procession, and then be carried onto a funereal barge where that will take it to the island that houses the family tomb. Now, you have 2 days in which to complete this job. The funeral procession will occur, the wake is this evening. The funeral procession will occur tomorrow afternoon, and the barge will leave for the island upon sunset. We must insist that the theft occurs before the priests of the Silver Judge arrive in the tomb to properly remove the necklace so that it may be used once the next matriarch passes on.
The priest of the Silver
Judge. Those are the basics. Now, there are a few things we would prefer to happen, and these will if these things are to occur, we will smile down upon you and your crew. We would prefer if whatever plan that you concoct has a supernatural element to it. Whether or not that element is authentic or not is entirely up to you. But fostering a belief in the supernatural increases our influences throughout the city. We also ask that, or we also would prefer that no one is aware that the necklace has been stolen until the priests come to remove it.
Just 2 conditions?
Those are not even conditions, dear cousin Drusilla. Those are preferences. If you choose to, what's most important to us is that we get the necklace. But if you can do so in a manner that
Is befitting of our cartel?
is befitting of our cartel and of my personal request, then I will certainly know that you are the right kind of people for future work.
Yeah, the supernatural should be of no consequence.
Are you okay?
Now,
Easy peasy. Just blow up the boat, sinks to the bottom of the water. They never know the necklace was stolen because they can't find the body.
now
We're supposed to keep this a little quiet, though.
before we get into specifics of planning, there is some other additional information that your expertises grants you. Now, if you look at your cartel sheets, it will tell you you are aware of anything that there are things that you know about, and then it lists the things that you know about. Now, oftentimes in playing this game, this would be the point where everybody kind of goes around the table and says, well, my character knows about this, 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 and this. But I have prepared the stuff that they initially would know off the top of their heads, just because it's easier that way, rather than, okay, what do you know? Yeah, nope, you don't know anything, because that kind of makes people feel a little like, aww. Cordelia, here's what you know about the Wake. House Gorgov is not one of the elder houses that founded the city, but it is still very old, dating back to the time before the fire that destroyed Old Dunhaven. That answers our question. It was founded by nobles who immigrated from the thriving Vladov Empire, and the customary Vladov Wake is one of the few cultural traditions that the house still practices. The most well-known part of the Vladov Wake is the biographical play known as the Retelling, which illustrates the most important moments in the life of the deceased and is usually written and performed by entertainers hired by the surviving family. Retellings for accomplished individuals, like, say, a family matriarch, can take hours. Ivan, you've actually been to one of these wakes before, so you know this part. During the wake, those who wish to pay respects will be limited to which rooms they can enter based on their social standing. Members of the royal family can go wherever they want on the estate. Members of the nobility may enter any room except those temporarily decorated with the color purple. Merchants can enter any room except those decorated with purples or reds. Commoners will not be allowed to enter the estate during the wake, except for House Gorgov servants and security.
What about the people that work at the parlor?
That will probably be during the funeral the next day.
There wouldn't be any funerary employees at this event.
Not necessarily, no.
One assumes there may be some mummers, though.
Yes.
For the
and
biographical play.
Drusilla,
Yes.
you know that the Gorgov tomb is located on a small island just off the coast of New Dunhaven. which is officially called Alzandra's Landing, but more commonly known as the Island of Bones.
Yes.
Several noble families have tombs on this island, and the Gorgov families is one of the smallest.
I'm so excited. Oh, there's going to be so many dead people to animate.
All right.
What a weird thing to say.
I was going to say, is that Drusilla saying that, or is that Danielle saying
A
that?
little bit of column A, a little bit of column necromancy. You know? You know?
Excellent. All right. So, I think that's everything for... Oh, no. There's a little more information. Sorry. Now, all of you know that Mariana Gorgov had 3 daughters. And each of you knows, or a few of you know a little bit about each daughter. For example, Mary, you know that the middle daughter is Captain Jane Gorgov. She is the captain of a pirate hunting vessel called the Razor. And she takes contracts from the Crown, the Dunhaven Bay Trading Company, and occasionally some of the smaller whaling companies, defending their ships against pirates or hunting down pirate ships that have already struck.
Oh, she's you.
Her hair... her favorite musical is Anchor of My Heart.
It's a deep cut.
And
Watch series 1 to figure out what that is.
and you'll be laughing. Her hair has gone white. She dresses in a loose blouse with 2 crossed sword belts and boots.
Would
then-
I know the name of some of the pirate vessels that she has destroyed?
Probably, yeah.
What is it? The saucy bench?
Saucy strumpet. Saucy
Yes.
Cordelia, you know that the eldest daughter of Edward and Mariana Gorgov is Ariana Gorgov. She is an acolyte of the church who lives in the cathedral in the Southton County District. She's the most beautiful of the 3 daughters with golden hair and bright blue eyes. And Remy,
Yeah.
you know about Talia Gorgov. That's the youngest daughter of Edward and Mariana. Talia is a bounty hunter known by the moniker Death on Horseback.
Nice.
She no longer lives in New Dunhaven, but instead tracks down criminals in Westport and in the wilderness between the 2 cities.
We like her.
Oh, I'm so gay for her.
She dyes her hair jet black
Talia.
and keeps it back in a ponytail. Weirdly enough, her horse is not named in the information, even though she's Death on Horseback.
Let's give her a name.
Gallops.
Yeah.
Callops. Oh my god.
Shadow facts.
Cloppy.
Fartax.
No.
Cloppy is
I
so
do
funny.
kind of like the idea that she's this badass bounty hunter, but she has like Mr. Huggles is like the name of her.
Pookie.
Pookie.
Her door's name is Poot.
No, it's
Her horse's name
Rainbow.
is Rainbow.
Yeah, it's Rainbow.
Rainbow Run Fast.
Well, that's his formal name, but it's his
It's
Rainbow.
his show
for sure.
name.
Yeah.
Rainbow Rock.
All right. So, those are the pieces of information that you know off the top of your collective heads. Mm-hmm. There is more information about all of those subjects, in addition to other pieces, if you want to do a little legwork. And this is where we get into the sort of timed phase of the game. Now, I've laid out 4 cards here, and these represent... Let me actually put them in order. Okay, great. These represent the different phases of the 2 days that the crew has to pull off the job. And they can spend these phases doing one of 3 things. They can either use the phase doing legwork, where they go around getting more information about the particular aspects of the job, as well as trying to figure out or setting up situations that will help them that will pay off in the job, like replacing a caterer with their particular thing or what have you. There is also the planning phase, where they can spend the phase planning and talking about what they want to do or collating the information that they might have. The crew gets one planning phase for free at the beginning of the game, which we'll be getting into very shortly. And then the final phase, or the final thing they can do, is actually pull off the job. Now, I will tell everybody that if you want to hit the wake, you're going to have to do it at night, at the basically this evening. So this is the first two cars are day one, which is what we're in now. If you want to hit the funeral procession, you're going to have to hit it during the day of tomorrow.
The second day phase.
Yeah. And if you want to hit the tomb, you're going to have to hit it at night, or the tomb and or the barge going out to the funerary island. Now, one of the challenges of doing heist games is the planning stuff. I think we've all played role-playing games where you spend half or more of the session plotting out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and getting into the nitty-gritty details of it. And then the first moment that plan hits any sort of snag or something that you didn't expect, it all falls apart, and then the rest of the session is running around and trying to put out fires. The way that Dusk City Outlaws tries to get around that is by setting a 15-minute limit on any planning phases. And this is actually counted in real time. I have my timer set up to go. Now, the crew has one phase of this for free to plan out at the beginning. And what this does is that it also encourages decisions to be made and setting on specific concrete plans rather than, well, I thought we were doing this thing. Wait, I thought we were doing this thing. So they're going to have 15 minutes with which to plan. You're going to get to watch it at home and scream at the TV like, no, you should be doing this thing. Why would you not do that? Should they wish to have more time to plan, that will cause them to use one of the four phases that they have to use. So I will start the timer, and you guys will have 15 minutes talking out. I'll give you warnings at 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute.
Thank you.
All right. So, where are you adjudicating to plan the job?
I have a few theaters we could go to.
I have a treehouse I use.
You are the actual worst.
I mean, the treehouse probably isn't being watched.
I hate to agree with the kid, but
Yeah.
I have a ward house or a funeral parlor.
So the theater or the funeral parlor, guys? Which one do you want to
Are
be?
you sure you don't want to go to a noodle house? You can have a snack.
Actually, I'm feeling a bit peckish.
We might not be very alone at a noodle house.
We can go in the back.
I could eat.
All right, noodle house it is. Your 15 minutes starts right now.
Okay, bing, bang, boom. I get a ship. We dress it up like a ghost ship. We attack the barge as it goes to the creepy dock. Sink it. Steal the necklace. Bam. We're done.
Or, seeing as no one's supposed to know that the necklace is stolen until the judge shows up, the priest judge shows up, we could break in during the wake. I could get us in as a group of mummers performing during the biographical play. We could steal it then.
Would we have to actually act?
Perhaps.
I mean, and if everything.
I have a face for it.
For this wake, is it
Thank
like open
you.
casket or something where they're going to see that the necklace isn't there?
We can steal it right at the end of the night.
The wake it is, I believe.
Yeah. So if we steal it
Right at the end of the night.
and then they move the body,
I overheard that someone has access to a hearse.
Oh.
We could do a car switch.
Car swap.
oh, that might be good.
At the wake.
Fake coffin set up in the car swap during.
And
put in
do
the wrong
ghost
vehicle.
ship thing as a backup plan.
I don't think we need to think anything, though. I think we should let the corpse get to the
I mean,
It's just
The island?
island.
the corpse should get to the island.
Says the waiter who's totally not listening.
I think the corpse should get to the island before we steal the necklace, because people will know it's gone, and then my bosses will be rather displeased.
But I mean, if the body's at the bottom of the sea,
No one will be looking at the body once it's on the barge.
once it's wrapped up, man, they shouldn't open it until they get
So if
to
we
the tomb.
steal it at the
the
car
car swap.
nobody
home
will
free.
see the body too if it's at the
Replica
bottom of the
coffin, fake body. I mean,
Yeah,
Sneak
you
in
guys
as
plan
mummers.
whatever you're doing, and I'll just clean up your mess.
Could we perhaps get a real body? Just,
well, yeah, real fake
Why?
body.
Why?
sea. I mean, she's a real body.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. If we're not going to the island, then there aren't a lot of bodies for me to animate, and I do enjoy intimidating people via the use of their corpses, you know?
I mean, I
We
can
have to
kill
add-
somebody and then you can animate them.
I would be delighted.
There you go.
Thank you. Problem solved.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll make sure not to burn them too much, though.
They might be missing a couple limbs though. I can't promise anything.
Gross.
Just leave the face, and we're good.
I mean, does all the face have to be there? I feel like it'd be scarier if they're missing like part of their jaw.
Ooh, I like you.
I get that a lot.
So, anybody got any skills that can help with this?
I'm going to sneak us in as with the group of mummers who are performing.
Okay, wait. So what is your plan right now?
I'm unclear on that as well.
Yeah.
We're sneaking in
Well,
with the
wake.
mummers to the wake
and then
so that we can keep an eye on what's going on. Then we will perform the car swap, steal the
We
necklace.
can either have
Then
a hearse, them put the coffin in the wrong hearse.
put the coffin in the wrong hearse. Driven
Or-
by one of our
or-
people.
We swap it during transportation.
Well, it'll be driven by one of our people, and we can swap it during transportation.
I can always cause a distraction during the parade.
Explosion.
Yeah, it's kind of what I do.
Okay, so it sounds like you're busting into the wake,
Yes.
and you're gonna swap the body after the wake when they load it into the funeral barge. Now,
Yep.
hearse is actual like a horse drawn hearse. It's not. It's just so you're aware of that. Okay, just making sure.
For the timeline, you said the wake was the entire night, and then immediately after that, that's the day.
You would probably be pulling the job at the night, because it seems like you're going to be busting into the wake to basically set up so that when they move the body, that's when you pull the hearse switch.
Okay. And then the actual parade is the day.
The day.
Correct.
Onto the barge.
And then the night is the tomb.
Yes.
Okay.
But
So if it doesn't work,
in theory,
we
should
have
have-
a couple of backups.
yeah, in theory, you're pulling the job at the end of the night, or maybe even the day phase if you really want to
Would-
get picky about it.
Would there
but
be time to case locations for a car swap? Like,
That's
okay.
And I can check the route for
10
particularly
minutes, by the way.
good distraction spots.
I'll call Cebu. He's a good driver.
I can do a lot. So whatever you need me to do, for example, I can conceal an object, convince
I need you to
someone,
make the car
distract
fly.
someone. Can't do that. Intimidate someone, navigate bureaucracy, forge a document, gossip with merchants, lie to someone, read someone's emotions, use an alchemical object, and I can do a lot of other things. Plus, I can bribe people to do things.
Do
That's
we
not even
need?
including my spending influence.
Do we know if the driver of the hearse needs special documents
Probably.
in order to pick up the body?
Most likely.
So we may need to
With
forge
such a
set of those.
influential family.
and someone take out the original driver.
Oh, that's the dead body we could use.
The original driver?
she's like, finally, dead body.
I can break him.
Not gentle, darling. I need him.
I mean, he needs to be broken so you can use him, right?
Do we really
Well,
need the
yes,
whole
but
body?
I don't need him broken in half.
We need the weight.
No.
But couldn't we just take the necklace? Isn't that what we're trying to get?
Should we maybe try to make like a fake necklace so we can switch it so they don't realize it's gone?
That way you don't
Do
have
we
a
know
whole
what the
new
necklace
body.
looks like?
That is a good call.
I don't think I have any prop creation skills, just a heads up there.
Ooh,
Well, but that's all stuff that you can do via legwork. Is
Yeah.
talk to somebody who can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can have employees of a funeral parlor remove jewelry from a deceased citizen to complete a disguise.
Ooh.
I feel like the general public, or maybe even the family.
Keep in
doesn't-
mind, I believe each of those requires an
Spending.
expenditure of influence.
Yes.
So if you're already
You can get
spending
one.
one to get the hearse.
Oh, then I don't have any left.
Well, there's a group one that anyone can spend, but just be aware that there is a price to pay for each of those.
And I can even get help from other crews that aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
And I could easily just talk to someone and ask if they could make a copy.
Good plan. Go with that.
Yeah. That's what I'm here to do. Clean up the mess.
Okay, so just to make sure that we have an idea of what we're doing, it sounds like the plan is you're going to make some preparations during the day. Then at night you're going into the wake to basically get things set up so that you can switch or you're still doing the hearse switch, but during the switch you're just basically pulling.
I think we're doing
Swapping
a
necklaces.
pre-switch.
Switch on a switch.
We're gonna take out the original driver beforehand, put one of our peeps in there, right?
Do we really want to go with the body? We could just do the necklace.
That's what I'm saying. We instead of doing that, we can drive the hearse somewhere
Uh-huh.
that we can then take off the necklace without
And
being
swap it.
seen,
Okay.
And I can cause the distraction so we can
And-
get the hearse out of there without.
and then hopefully put a real one in there, or a distraction to switch the real necklace for a fake necklace. if
First
we
thing I
ever
can
really
do
make
is
it.
spend some influence to call in a favor for the right kind of person. Previously did a job with to get the necklace. that we
the
need.
right kind of hearse driver,
Or the necklace, whatever. Right, yeah.
right kind of person to forge
Or-
the necklace.
Could one of us drive the
Do we need
hearse?
to do legwork to find out what the necklace looks like? For
Yes, you do.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably need to figure out you need to figure out what the fake necklace looks like, and then like work to actually create it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, case for the best spot to park the hearse to take off the necklace and put the fake one on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, switch spot. See, this is all stuff that I'm writing down, so that way you know. So, who is handling each of these things? So the four things that I have are the original deal with the original driver, figure out what the necklace looks like, create the fake necklace, and figure out a secluded switch spot.
I could probably either do the necklace forgery or the switch spot.
I could get
That's
some of
cool.
my
Might be
my
really
big
fun.
brothers to take care of the original driver.
I could just take care of the original driver. But, I mean, we also need somebody to find out what the necklace looked like. So I can try to call in. I don't even know what favors I can call in for that.
Don't keep in mind that it's not also always just calling in favors. Sometimes it's just you going out and
And
like
doing the thing.
and doing the
out.
thing. Like if you want to go to, the library to figure out to try to find a jeweler or something to try and find a picture of this necklace.
I was thinking that I would go to the jeweler. I'm sure they know me.
Actually, I might be good to find a good switch spot over by the docks. Because that's an area that I'm very familiar with. And I don't look
5
conspicuous
minutes.
over there.
I could just shoot the original driver as he's driving to the location.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if you're doing the necklace creation, I can forge the documents for the driver. I also have that skill.
So does that
If
mean
we
that you
take
should
out
go
the
with-
original driver, he should have the original
Oh, we can just
documents
steal
with
the
him.
documents. Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're going to be hunting the driver.
Mhm.
You're going to be creating the necklace, or you're going to be you're going to find out what the necklace looks like. You're going to be
Getting someone to create the necklace.
getting somebody to create the necklace. You're going to be
Finding
the switch spot, and you're going to be swing basically.
Swing.
Okay.
Do
All
we
right.
need somebody to pretend that they're the driver?
Yeah, can someone drive?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it
don't
would
you
look-
need to get us into the wake?
Well, but
I
coming
can do
out of the
that's-
wake.
Yeah.
Well, also you can also. Well, I guess you're also trying to figure out
Yeah.
who is the actual company that's going to be doing the wake.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, the
All right.
company to
Yeah.
get us in.
So,
Yeah.
that means that it seems
Who's
like
driving?
our crew has a plan, except for the driver, but we'll figure that out as we go. So when we return, we're going to be moving into the first day phase of our run at the funeral job of Dusk City Outlaws. We'll see you in 10, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. We weren't sure if we were going to make it back in time with the timer that Lord of the Board Brad has installed on our...
Hashtag Lord of the Board. It's like a sequel to, what's that movie?
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Dogs. Dog Lord.
Lords of Dogtown?
Yeah, that one.
Hashtag eating Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yes, there is that too. So, when we last left our crew, they had just pulled together a pretty decent plan to pull the Necklace of Eternal Slumber off of the matriarch of House Gorgov during the wake that was part of her funeral. Now, the way that Dusk City Outlaws, the game, handles the passage of time is that each session is divided up into day and night phases. Now, they're entering the first day phase, and what happens when they enter a phase is that they generate heat. Heat represents the rumor and hearsay and informants being knocked over by cops off screen and so on and so forth, and also the general chaos that occurs outside of the control of our professional thieves.
General chaos.
General chaos. Now, heat is represented by these tokens, and this is the 5er. And I can spend these tokens to cause complications to occur within the job. Normally, we each now they can generate heat within a scene by being conspicuous or doing, or blowing things up.
Not yet.
But there is a natural genesis of heat just by people going, they've assembled a crew to do something. What's going on? I heard it was this. I heard they're hitting this. I heard they're hitting this. So normally, a crew generates 1 heat per member of the crew per phase. That would be 5. But because the Theater of the Mind players laughs in the face of danger, we're bending the rules here as written. Normally, crews are only supposed to have 1 rare character. And that would be a character who has sorcery or is from a less common cartel. But we actually have 3 rare characters, so I'm going to be putting 3 extra heat on.
Wait, I thought we only had 2.
Tony's also.
Tony's also a rare character.
Tony is a rare character because he is an independent.
Yeah.
Throw your hands up at me.
Okay, Kelly Clarkson.
Hashtag normal.
I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no cartel.
Just say, throw your hands up at me.
Throw your hands up at me.
All the women.
That is 8 heat. That's correct. Lord of the Board.
I regret all my decisions.
Yeah.
So,
Par for the
it
course.
seems like each of you is taking point on a particular piece of the plan, and that is taking out the original driver, discovering what the necklace looks like, creating the fake necklace, finding a good switch spot for for you to make the switch on the necklace, and also discovering what theater troupe is going to be performing the play that is going to be your entryway into the wake. So, I at the very least, obviously we have to wait until you figure out what the necklace looks like before you can create it. But any of those other scenes seem like those would be a good lead-off scene. So, what do you want to do first? Do you want to take out the okay? Now,
BTW, yes, I will drive. Yeah.
Okay. Also, if anyone else wants to assist in this scene, you definitely can feel free to do so. just note that the more scenes that you assist in, the more likely it is that I will add complication dice to your rolls, because it's hard to be everywhere at once. So.
What are you doing, Ethan? You're taking out the
Not if you
river?
run fast enough, Rob.
Well,
Rob, that's just a Wednesday for me.
I am
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
the
yeah.
father of a near 3-year-old toddler. I completely understand the challenge of I have to do 5 things at once. So, okay. So you are trying to track down who the original driver is and take him out. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to take him out via sniper
Yes.
shot. Okay.
Kid, you want back up?
We're supposed to not let them know we took out the driver.
I'm backing you up. So if somebody comes at you, I take them out.
You might want to take the help. You're, a little fresh-faced.
Hey, man.
What do you gotta say to that?
No, no, no.
About the raven. I forgot about Ravencroft.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go.
All right.
It was the raven that killed this thing.
He's a really
Yeah.
big raven, by the way.
He's a giant. This-
Ravens are pretty big.
I just stand, like, behind you.
Surprised you haven't grabbed that bird yet.
Maybe next to break. Never
No,
mind.
no.
Too late. Too late.
So she's going.
Sorry, I
she's
suggested
going
it.
for
Already in. Already in. The walls of reality are crushing.
Screen.
Oh,
No.
don't you have to pay a toll?
You can't. You gotta pay the troll toll to get to the DM's. Hole,
No,
so-
no.
I'm gonna just.
Yeah. Bye. Goodbye.
We just lost 20 viewers right there. Sorry, guys.
So, how are you going to? So, how are you going to track down the? First of all, like, what are you doing to track down the driver? Because I'm fairly certain that they're not just sitting on the hearse waiting.
I'm gonna talk to the grave diggers to see who's, because they gotta know.
Okay.
So I might have to chat with.
So something you should also be aware of is that just because you have a member of the cartel as part of your crew does not mean that the cartel as a whole is aware of your job, because there are dozens of jobs going on at the same time. So just be aware of that. So you just don't want to be like, hey, we're doing a job. They're like, oh, you're doing this job. Here's all the information. You are probably going to have to come up with a thing.
Hey, you want to come with us?
Hmm?
Want to come with us to talk to your people,
Oh.
Miss Frost?
Oh. Well. It's Drusilla to you, but sure. Sure, I'll
Aw,
go.
look at how informal you are. Okay.
He's just a little baby.
There.
Hey, man, I can take care of myself.
Well, yeah, that
We'll
doesn't-
get you there.
Doesn't mean that you're not tiny.
Oh yeah, you could get me there.
Oh my god.
Do I take that as a challenge, you unmuzzled, shard-born pumpkin?
Also callback.
Russian, not French.
Series 2 is that reference.
I feel like the Lord of the Board needs to come up with a callback flashback, like thing to flash on the board, like. Beep, 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 beep. Okay.
Pop-up video.
Prickling, onion-eyed hedge pig.
So it's the three of you who are going out to find the driver. Then
So
yes.
much for
Sure.
subtle.
Eh. Well, I'll tell you. So,
people.
is there? Well, as a gravedigger, you'd know. Is there like a bar or something? Where do all of the funerary drivers hang out? Like when they're not.
The haunt.
the haunt.
Callback.
I mean, we can do that, but
Well, you tell me where they hang out. Is it a bar? Is it a? Do they go
Coffee
to the?
shop?
Yeah.
Is there an empty mausoleum?
well, it would be a tavern, yeah, because we're in mildly antiquated time.
Yes.
Okay, so
For general reference, this is probably Venice-y Renaissance kind of, like, with whatever anomalies make the story work. So,
Okay.
so probably not like yes to guns as a
Restoration
rarity,
era.
but not like there's not like a subway station.
Yeah.
The city is also
Or a restaurant.
primarily set up via canals as the main highway transportation.
So I think it's in a very dingy part of the city. Not a whole lot of lamplight,
Okay.
right? Because there's no electricity, right?
Right.
Okay. So probably not a whole lot of lamplight. It's not something that
Well, it's the day.
I mean the classier members of the Gravediggers wouldn't really hang out here.
Okay.
But the actual people who get the dirty job done.
So this is a more of a commoner district kind of thing. Like these guys aren't they work for the Gravediggers, but they're not parlor men, I think is what they call the maid men.
So do you want to
essentially.
talk to the parlor men or do you want to talk to the diggers?
The diggers are probably if you talk to the parlor men, that's more likely to generate heat because they're going to be like, oh, why do you want to know this information? Whereas if you talk to the diggers, they're going to be like, all right,
Alas,
fine.
poor Yorick. I knew him.
Right.
Well,
Rob's had enough of your shenanigans.
let's go give the diggers a call.
Okay. So the bar is called the 7th Foot.
Because it's 6 feet under. The 7th foot under. Go in that extra mile foot.
Yeah. And I think it's located in the shadow of a cathedral
Delightful.
where basically it's where you for the the commoner or the drivers and all of the laborers, they don't need to they don't want to be seen in your fantastic funerary thing where there's the choir singing and all the nobles weeping. They're gonna go and drink, and then when they hear the first clang of the silver bell, they're like, okay, finish up, gotta get back to work. And that is where the 7th Foot is located. Now, I think... the 7th... So... you're going to go talk to the driver there. You're going to back him up. I think there is probably, since you said it is sort of a rougher part of town.
Is there a dock element there at all?
There also happens to be not
Just
quite
vibe
there,
that.
but
No,
I think I want to spend a little bit of heat.
You're gonna get jumped.
Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Well, just because you brought half the party, I don't want it to be like, oh, this is easy. We're going to spend a little bit of heat. We're going to spend 4 heat. And we're actually going to have a squad of minions there. Not the little banana guys. But they are going to be blooded minions. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but for those of you just tuning in, the Blooded are the main crime family that have not signed on to the accord that the rest of the crime families have set on. So I think that they're actually claiming the 7th Foot as kind of their turf, or at least the area around the bar.
So we're stepping into blooded territory.
Yep.
Well, some people I think like me, and some people do not. So it depends on who we talk to.
So let's see.
Oh, for those of you just tuning in, I pulled a quirk called X-Blooded. I used to be a member of that faction, but to enhance my sorcery skills, I actually joined a cartel.
Pulled them to bleep off.
Yes.
Also, for those just tuning in, welcome.
Well, that was adorable.
He has his moments.
I'm gonna put a tick on that as 1.
Oh. All right, so
Don't do the sad eyes. Don't do it.
too late. Too
God.
late.
No, you have multiple moments. 7.4 is a burn. That was my burn level.
Yeah.
I don't think that deserved that high.
We all laughed.
My heart hurts.
Nice try.
All right,
I'll rip you out a new one.
So you make your way into the 7th foot, and you do kind of because let's see, is anybody conspicuous in commoner of the 3 who are at the 7th foot?
I'm technically.
No.
I'm only conspicuous if I'm not with somebody.
Okay.
I don't think you're there. Though,
I'm
right?
conspicuous in
No,
little
but I'm just
town
future
now.
reference.
Okay.
Wherever.
That's like Tauna is basically
That's where
Chinatown.
Tauna.
essentially.
Merchant, Noble District, and nowhere anymore because I don't look like.
Because you're a baby
clan
face.
Because you don't look like anyone.
Well, that just gives you a bonus to.
It also says.
Never gets any negative anywhere for
Ever.
Most
that
people couldn't
young
distinguish
charm.
you from a law-abiding citizen
Okay.
because I'm not old enough yet to have the tattoo.
Fair enough.
He hasn't been hurt by the actual real
Real world.
life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So the 3 of you make your way in, and most of the laborers and the drivers are because it's not just the excuse me it's the drivers. It's also probably the grave diggers, and it's also probably the casket makers. Like it's all of the sort of people who need to be part of a funeral, and you can tell that there is a funeral going on because many of them are dressed in the best approximation to nice clothes that they can afford. So they have like their one frock coat, and then that covers their dingy peasant clothes. So how are you asking around? How are you trying to figure out who the person is?
And can I just walk in and go, "Hello, boys"?
The few of them look, and a couple kind of mutter and go, "Oh, okay."
Rabble.
Do you have any skills that are talky skills?
I have intimidation, size someone up, convince someone, distract someone, and gossip with merchants.
Yeah, I
Wow.
can gossip with criminals.
I can gossip with criminals and with commoners.
Oh,
Oh, gossip with commoners.
yeah, gossip with commoners.
65%.
Okay,
but
so why don't you go ahead and give me a roll?
I came here to be the muscle.
I can outdrink people if that helps.
I'm going to roll with 1 advantage die because you brought the Gravedigger.
Okay.
So you roll your dice
Thanks.
and tell me if you succeed or fail, and then we'll see if you get a boon or not.
I got an 82. So
Okay.
I think that's a fail.
So that's a fail. Now, here is something that you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, are we trying to roll under the
You're
percent?
trying to roll under the percentage. Everybody has luck.
Anything
You
you
have
have
100
listed
points
is
of
50.
luck. And you can use that luck to modify your dice rolls. You can spend it in increments of 10 to bump up a skill to succeed. However, once you have run out of luck,
You run out of luck.
that is also what you use when you are attacked. So if you run out of luck too early, that means you're going to be taking wounds when you get shot at or punched, and that may actually cause your character to die.
Do it.
Yikes-a-rooney.
So it's up to you. Do you want to fail talking to the?
How much luck would I have to spend?
How much? Well, what is your talking to the commoners?
65, and I got an 82.
So you'd have to spend 20 points of luck.
3. Yeah, 2.
That's a bad call.
that's-
I would do it.
Yeah. Can I switch
Live on
that
the
to
edge.
seduce someone, or is that pre-roll?
Live on the edge.
Nope.
Okay. Damn it. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, cool. Because that lets me introduce the minions.
Yep. I'd rather spend it punching people.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
So, you walk in there and are kind of like, "Hey, any of you driving today?" And everybody, like, you say the words, and then everybody kind of shoots their eyes back down. And one of the
Dragon
tables
senses are
is, well, one of the tables, there's about 5 of them. They all get up at once. And the shortest one, of course, is the leader. and he has a. I think the blooded all have a red, like a sash or a scarf or something tied around them to represent their family, and he's got it like samurai headband style. He's like. He looks up at you and says, "You gotta pay the mouth tax if you want any information out of these boys."
Can I size them up?
Sure.
Size someone up?
Can we all size people up?
I do.
Are you as awesome as I am?
I have 80%.
80.
Me too. Yeah.
Should we all?
Okay,
Oh,
that's a 50.
she's doing it.
She's got
That's a 53 out of 80.
Okay.
Bringing weapons in, do we have to conceal them?
Probably, because otherwise you're going to generate heat.
Can I roll a conceal object?
Sure.
I am a weapon.
Oh. I have a cane with me as equipment.
Is it a sword cane?
It's damage plus 10.
I want to conceal my 2 hand
I love a good
crossbows.
sword cane.
Sure.
Or maybe it's just
The
a
heavy one
basher.
probably.
Well, are you doing them both?
Shillelagh.
Yes.
It's a shillelagh. I have a cane. Great.
Okay.
Love it.
My
Did you do it?
conceal object is an 80 and I got a 76.
Okay.
Ooh, you chose me to. So
You-
it's poking out. Is that your sword, or are you just happy to see me? And you're like, I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to stab you. So these guys are minions, which means that they basically attack as a group, and everyone you take out, their strength basically you hit. Whereas with named characters, they also have luck that you have to kind of drill through. These guys, you take one out, you hit them, one goes down, and once they've all gone down, they've all gone down.
I also have a fun skill called Fist of the Four Elements,
No.
which means I deal plus 10 damage when brawling, and if I brawl with a squad of minions and hit, I reduce the squad size by 2 instead of
Hey,
1.
I have barrage, which is a similar thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we might be getting into combat here.
So, Mary Tam just, she's wearing a gi in her colors. She just pulls it down and starts wrapping silk hand wraps around her hands, and you see a dragon start to crawl across her shoulders and down her arms. She says, "Mouth tax, huh? Is that how many of your teeth I take out?"
Is this the intimidate someone skill?
Yes,
Do you have
Jordan.
that?
Yes.
No. So
I don't have
Because
that.
I got that.
I have goad someone.
Well, I have intimidate on 80.
So why don't you go ahead and give me an attack roll here?
Okay.
So your martial arts ability. Now, because of your very badass teeth count roll, I'm going to give you a boon die, and since you're right there, you get to roll it.
Point of inspiration.
So why don't you go ahead and roll that punch?
Roll that punch.
Roll that punch.
Roll.
That's a 50, but no boost.
Okay, but is that underneath your...
Yeah, my brawl with someone's 80.
Okay, so
80%.
normally what that would mean is that you would do 30 points of luck damage to a named character,
Yeah.
but because these are minions, you just take one out. But because these are, because you have that special ability, you get to take 2 out. So go ahead and tell me how you take 2 of them out.
So, what she does, she just steps forward, punches one directly in the chest. He stumbles back into another guy, and they crack an entire table in half behind them as they just fall to the ground. And she cracks her neck and goes, "Next."
All right.
Is there a divot in his chest? Fist-shaped divot?
I feel like you slowly see some red spread out from under his white shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, do you want to take a shot at
Sure.
or do you want to let Mary handle it?
I'll put some crossbows.
Okay.
Prove himself.
Some cross base.
Ooh, a fight! Yay! Yeah.
First paid shots. I got a 42 out of my 90 for shoot someone.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
And you take out 2 as well, so you tell me how you take out 2 more.
I have 2 hand crossbows. I'm just pulling them both out. Double shot.
Yeah.
Okay, that leaves 1 minion there to perhaps maybe
Flee.
hurt you a little bit. So we're going to.
Poor guy.
Oh, he rolled well.
And he will hit. So he does. He does. The one guy left. It's not the leader guy. You took him out first, right?
Yeah.
So the one guy left is like, I will avenge you, my brothers! And he's only going to do 5 luck to you as far as damage goes. And what does he do? Does he land a shot?
Well, every action sequence in all the movies, every group brawl needs that one guy who's like, everybody's dead, but no, I'm gonna get in there.
Does he take one of the table legs?
Just hit you on the back.
Oh, yeah. He hits you
And
with a
Jordan
chair and you
turns around.
no-sell it, of course. That's what happens.
And
And you just turn it right into it as he smashes the table across your face, and you just kind of, you know.
I thought you were gonna say like that itches.
I don't need to say anything.
Do you have? You said you have
Just
intimidate,
knows.
yes?
Yeah.
Do you want to intimidate this last goon and get him the H out of here?
Yeah, sure.
How are you gonna intimidate him?
We don't have to roll first.
What tell me what you want to do, and then because that may generate some. If you say something particularly cool, you may get some boon dice.
Oh, okay. Well, I think this might be a good time to break out some necromancy because there's 4 dead bodies around me.
Whee! Did I kill them? Well, I guess the crossbows probably killed him. I feel like
He also said blood was pouring out of his chest.
Chest.
he might still be alive right now.
You
For a
know.
few minutes. He needs a chest tube, though, and he may be
Yeah.
a little bit
His
early
lungs
for
are
that.
still collapsing.
Okay.
He's
They're
not quite
minions.
dead.
Here's what I want to do. So I want to get the corpses to their feet, have them all look at this guy dead in the eye and go, come play with us.
Join us.
All right. So what does it say when you roll sorcery?
Make a roll to see if I can achieve those exact effects. The judge may rule your use of sorcery is not setting appropriate, and I can come up with a different idea. I always have 4 challenge dice for that roll. If your roll results include drawbacks, you can suggest a cost or unintended consequence.
All right. So I'm going to be rolling 4 of these. However, I'm also going to be giving you 2 boon dice because of the awful, scary ass thing that you said. So if there is a drawback result that comes up and there's a boon result that comes up, they cancel out.
Cool.
So go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, it's under 90.
Yeah, you're probably going to scare
For
the.
the love of all that is evil. 77.
All right. So you definitely scare the crap out of the last remaining guy.
Ooh. Ooh, only one drawback.
So 1 drawback. What is the now? Do I determine the side effect or do you determine the side effect?
I can suggest a cost or unintended consequence,
But it's your
or you can pick one. If you got something tasty, go for it. But I can-
Rob always does.
I think I'm just going to give you some heat for that because, you know, people are going to talk about the time that the pallbearer came into the bar and freaked the crap out of everybody.
and lifted
so.
up 4 dead bodies.
Yeah. That's going to show up on New Dunhaven Facebook.
And
6 total.
And I think that I just drop them and I look at the guy and I go, I trained in puppetry.
See, if you would have said that, I would have given you another boon die.
But can I save it for later?
He runs the F away.
And can I look around and like...
And they actually start clapping, and they're like, "Those guys are such assholes." Oh my god.
Thank you.
And one of the drivers says, "Mr. Drusilla, it's so good to see you again. Can we buy you and your associates a drink?"
That would be delightful.
yes.
Thank
So,
you.
wine for you, probably.
Oh, I'll take absinthe.
Oh, absinthe, yeah. What 1,000 pardons, madam.
Thank you.
Something. What are you drinking?
Whatever's strongest on the menu.
All right, so vodka for you,
And
Milk
vodka.
A sarsaparilla.
I will say I do have the skill of out drinking
Grape
people.
knee high.
He's
getting a
you start
grape
off
knee
with
high.
Such a fresh face. Nobody actually expects you to go as hard as you do.
Grape knee high.
What's the bartender's name?
Bartender.
Or who was talking to me?
Greg.
The driver.
Oh, the driver.
No. It was the bartender.
Okay.
And his name is
Bradwick.
Cedric.
Cedric.
The entertainer.
Bart, the bartender. Bartender.
Cedric. Thank you, Cedric. We would be delighted.
What brings you here, miss?
Well, we have a bit of a job to do, and that job requires information on a driver.
Well, there's. I hear the drivers around here talk about where they're driving, what they're doing. Do you have a? Can you tell me whom he's driving?
Mariana Gorgov.
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 Ooh.
Those Russian names.
Yeah.
Just can't.
One Mariana Gorgov.
No. Well. I think that means that they probably got
The fancy drivers.
trying to think of a good lady name.
Good lady name. Callista.
Yeah, Callista.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's Callista. She usually day before a drive, she usually spends it with her lady friend up in the up in her silk house.
Oh, looks like we have a new place to visit. Any questions from either of you?
No.
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 Except for where the silk house is.
Yes. Which
Town
silk house? There are so many fine ones.
He gives you Cedric gives you the location of it. And it's just a few blocks away.
Okay.
And then let's cut away from that to our. Gotta wait for the create it because you're in the scene. We're gonna go to the
Theater.
So how are you? So what are you doing to find out the information about the theater troupe?
I'm assuming that they're going to use one of the most prestigious theaters that are out there. I'm assuming I have a good idea of what those are. And I would also
That's
assume...
the theater for mind players.
I would also assume...
#exception.
that they're not going to be very quiet about the fact that they've been chosen by the Gorgov clan.
They're like, oh
Yeah,
my god.
Exactly. They're all
my
over
Gorgov.
the
Have you
bulletin
ever
board
met
media.
a quiet theater person?
You trying to say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she's succeeding at saying
I
something.
mean, honestly, look at me, right?
I think I'm going to go to...
And it's the moment of 5 seconds.
Open and closed case.
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk into the most popular theater tavern and just be like, "Hey, which one of y'all is doing the Gorgov funeral?"
All right. As long as we're naming taverns here, we're gonna call this one the Fool's Fret.
Fool's
Yeah.
Fret. I like it.
So what skills do you have?
Lots of skills.
What skills do you have that you think would work here? Let me ask you that.
Lie to someone, convince someone, pick some pockets maybe, read some emotions, create a disguise, distract someone, gossip with nobles, run like hell, throw something, anything else.
Hell, yeah.
I'm thinking probably
Convince?
Okay, so who are you convincing? Probably the bartender,
Yeah.
or okay.
just what have you heard? Who's doing the funeral?
Okay, give me a legwork roll. I'm gonna say that because you are amongst your people, we're gonna give you.
Don't fail me, new dice.
Did they fail you?
Nope, we got a 13 on my 90.
Oh,
God,
no,
Raven
Raven
Cran.
No, Raven Cran.
So
got him.
she loses her thing, right?
Yeah.
Go on.
We tear it up
Tear
like
it
his
up.
legacy.
Yeah.
So, oh no, why?
You want help?
That raven is dead.
Both the raven.
Luckily, we know a necromancer now,
Both the raven. You assholes.
So the bartender named Dunn, Dunne, he says, "Oh yeah, they didn't go with anybody local, of course, because they can afford to hire contract out. They brought in a troupe all the way in from Westport. They did.
Westport.
Lord Ramirez's players." And as soon as Dunn says that, everyone else at the bar spits on the floor.
I join them. Their ingenue is...
Not Janu.
Ingenuity.
Not so Janu anymore.
One of the other bar people at the bar makes that crack, and everybody toasts them.
Thank you, NPC number 4.
You're so welcome.
What,
That's my NPC.
did
voice.
NPC number 4 sit on attack suddenly or something? What happened? They got brought in here specifically for this performance, and
You know what drives me insane? When they can't even use local players.
I know, it's terrible. It's like they're afraid that somebody's gonna bust into the manor house and steal something valuable.
Raven Grad stuff.
They even sent out Talia Gorgov to escort them to make sure that nothing untoward happened to any of the players.
Oh my. I wonder about that not so Janu ingenue.
Yeah, what about her? I heard that she does this trick with... I don't... Never mind.
Not in polite
It
company.
involves ping pong.
First,
cherry
we have
shot.
to invent ping pong balls.
Wish the mic was closer so I could go.
So tell me, what do you know of Talia? What is she, how's she planning on escorting them? That they need an escort is laughable. Can't even defend themselves.
I'm loving this so much.
Welcome to sharing tea with the theater people in New Dunhaven. I know. I've just heard that she's going to be keeping an eye on them throughout the wake, and then after that, she's going to be overseeing the procession through the streets of or through the canals of New Dunhaven.
Oh, so she'll be escorting the hearse.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Very much so.
Which one's Talia?
Talia is the youngest.
She's the one that is the
bounty
horse
hunter.
of death, whatever.
Yeah, she's the hot one.
Death on horseback.
Death on horseback.
She's got a
that one.
black ponytail.
She's the hot one.
They're all hot.
I mean, I'm sure they're all hot, but she's
Yeah.
like the hottest.
They said the middle
He
one
is-
was the hottest one.
Yeah.
The nun.
maybe to you.
The nun, the middle one is the
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
is the white hair captain of the pirate hunter vessel. Is the
I
middle
thought that was the oldest one.
You would really make out with all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, but like, which one is my specific flavor? Right. Flavor of gay.
pirate hunter, nun, or
or bounty hunter.
or bounty hunter.
Yeah, 10-10, all of them.
Yeah.
Do you know, are they looking to fill out the chorus at all?
Well, I mean, I guess I could maybe put in a word for you if you really wanted me to, but go ahead and give me a convince roll. We're gonna give you your.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
All right, and you rolled 2 boons.
Oh my god.
Critical
So.
success.
If this was D&D, it'd be really sucking it right now.
Damn, new dice. Damn! Sorry, I got new dice. Great.
So, what I'm going to do here, let's see, what can you do with boons? Da 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 dee dee dee.
Kill 2 additional mooks.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of having you be a member of the chorus, they actually cast you as
As the
like
Oh, I'm
Ingenue.
definitely planning on.
they cast you as a supporting role instead.
No.
Ingenue, man.
Ingenue.
Oh, they cast you as the ingenue
Yeah.
instead.
I'm gonna get her sick or something.
Poison.
Well, perfect.
Oh,
Well,
she just poisoned.
so Dunn says, well, you've got the luck of Saint Murphy upon you, because speak of the ingenue, and there she is. And she's walking in, escorted by a nobleman, very portly, a very expensive rapier on his side.
Oh, good. Expensive rapier. It looks expensive, you say.
Well, it looks expensive.
Perfect. That means he doesn't use it very
You
often.
spent $700 at a con for it.
Certainly not one of those rogue steel blades.
Ah, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Those are
We have,
expensive, but they don't look it.
you
They
will
don't
face
need
my
to.
katana made from Pakistan, yes. True story. That's where my katanas were made.
You have katanas? Of course you have katanas.
I
A blade doesn't need to look expensive to be expensive.
Being a DM is only his day job. At
Samurai
And
Rob!
that- yeah. No, like 1 year, I basically was like, I've never bought a sword from a convention, and I feel like that as a professional nerd, I have to like, it's like a certification
Check
requirement.
Yeah.
You're gonna get kicked out if you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So I bought a set of katana. I think it was like, I want to say they were like $100 for like a set of 3, and because it was like a wakizashi, a katana, and like the next size up. I don't even know. I'm sure there's some people out there who are rapidly throwing their weapons at the screen. And then when I got them home and pulled them, I'm like, shh, oh, made in Pakistan. Cool. All right. Anyway, so what do you do once the ingenue comes walking in?
Katana is Japanese for Pakistan.
I think I'm just gonna walk over and mingle.
Do a little bit of stabbing.
Mingle.
Okay, are you gonna gossip with the noble, perhaps?
Yes. I only have a 65% in that, but we're gonna go for it. I'm not yet. I need to get in there first.
Poisoning is just so much fun.
So I think I'm
You
actually
can
going to
read
give
the
you
noble's
you're still going to get a boon die, but you're also going to get a challenge
Okay.
die because I think I suspect that the noble is maybe here with the ingenue, but not his wife, and that's
Yeah.
kind of awkward.
I think I'm gonna get 3 glasses of cider, like hard cider, and walk
Okay.
over with them and hello, nice to meet you.
Ooh.
Nice.
I got a 52 on my 65. Woo!
All right. So, are you an actual do you actually take regular rolls in addition to your crimey stuff?
yes.
Okay.
It's a good cover. It gets me places.
Because I think so. Because you rolled a boon?
Mhm.
Is she a fan of yours, or is he a fan of yours?
I think he's a fan of mine.
Okay. This is gonna be great.
Do I know her name?
Claudia.
Claudia.
Loudly.
No, wait, no, we've already used too many C names in this
Ingrid?
bar.
Ingrid.
No, I feel like it's gotta be
It was.
Rosemary.
Ophelia.
was-
Ophelia.
Rosemary. I like
Rosemary.
I
Rosemary.
love that. Thank you, Techmaster Brad.
Thank you, Lord of the Board Red. Rosemary.
Not
Uh,
Rosemary.
And
Count Chocula.
Count Docula, thank you very much.
Lord Byron.
Yeah. Like,
Rosemary, that's the what? Rosemary, that's for memory? Remembering.
That's for thoughts.
Thoughts. Right?
We're gonna do a deep cut for the Lord of the Board here. Lord Barristan. We'll explain in the talk segment later. Lord Barristan immediately like takes off his cap and says, "Cordelia Marpan, milady, please, do join us. I loved you in what would they not?
Anchor of my heart.
No. The
Coriolanus.
Is Tartuffe at that time?
The gender bent Coriolanus.
Yeah, like something like the
Pirates of Penzance.
like I wanted, it's definitely something like Twelfth Night or like some kind of body comedy, but not necessarily, but obviously a made up fantasy version of it.
The Provoked Wife.
13th Day.
Oh, the Pirate Wife.
The Pirate Wife.
11.
The Pirate Wife, and he starts gushing over your
I set the
performance.
glasses down and I give him like my best 30-second monologue from the show, and then turn the chair around and sit in it.
He claps like a 10-year-old boy. Rosemary is not amused.
I turn and wink at her.
I feel like she has one of those tiny noses where she's a the tiny nose up sniff.
Yeah.
You know that. Just
I wink at her. And pass one of the ciders over. Which
You roofied?
oh,
I roofied.
That a skill?
do you have poison as a skill? If not, you have 50%. And I'm gonna say that.
Could distract someone.
That
help?
monologue was my distraction.
Oh, all right. So go ahead and distract. I'm gonna give you. We're gonna roll.
Distract someone. 65.
Okay.
I got a 70.
All right. Was
You-
that?
You could
that's
spend,
a fail.
You could spend 10 luck.
5 luck.
10 luck.
You have to. do
Okay,
it
I will spend 10 luck.
Okay. So because you distracted him, I'm going with that thing. I'm going to give you 1 boon dice along with 2 challenge dice when you try to poison Rosemary's drink.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll.
18.
Alright. All right.
Drawback.
So,
you sound like poison both of them.
Whoops.
My hands.
She accidentally
I'm not
drinks her own roofie.
Killing. This is definitely
knockout.
I'm giving her food
It's
poisoning.
down to you, and it's down to
Yeah. This is
it'll
diet
be
iocane
very-
powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be very, what is it, practical magic where you accidentally kill her.
So I think all right. I'm just gonna give you 2 heat for that
Okay.
because I think, I think you were expecting her to sip it and then slowly oh, my tummy hurts, and
She
then run
chugged it.
Yeah. Well, I
She angry chugged it.
yeah. And yeah, she's giving you the look, and she's in the middle of saying to Lord Barristan, I don't know if you know this, but everyone at every member of Lord Ramirez's players is trained very well in the combat arts, and I was just curious to see how well your fighting compares to my own.
Truly,
Well, I mean,
I would welcome the.
Oh, sorry. That was an aside about how beat this bitch is about to get.
I would certainly welcome the challenge.
may I? And she gestures to his jeweled rapier, and he is of course, milady.
I look back at Dunn. Do you mind, sir?
Clear the bar, boys! And everybody so you hop up on one side of the bar, and Rosemary hops up on the other side of the bar, and she salutes you with his jeweled rapier.
I do the least elaborate salute possible and go into a parry of 7. Or an on guard of 7.
And Lord Barristan goes, "But first, a toast to these brave women!" And he scoops up her drink. What do you do? Or does somebody come in and help her out?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What do you do?
What do I do?
He cleans.
Yeah.
Just wipes on the table.
And
takes
accidentally
the cup.
elbow him.
No,
nobody's used
don't
to
look at
it.
your stuff. Just tell me how you want to solve this.
What's the problem exactly?
He's about to drink
the
out of
poisoned cup.
the poisoned cup.
Gertrude.
Okay.
He's about to Gertrude all over this biz. This bench.
I just slap down and be like, "Hello, how about a game of cards?"
What?
A game of cards. Do you play?
Yes, but there's a duel going on, good sir.
It happens every night.
And then I yelled, "My Lord Dunn, something a bit stronger for the Lord Barristan, please."
Oh yes, of course. And they get the
Drink swapped over.
They get the drink swapped over. Go ahead and give me your fighting roll.
I don't know what skill that is.
Do you have like sword somebody?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so that's actually going to be anything else.
So, yeah. 50.
The good news is that's also what her skill is.
That's a 90.
You drop your sword on
No,
your
this is
foot.
perfect. This is perfect because we're gonna cut away at the end of this to our next break. So ping ping ching shik pack pack chick 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 chack shik, and she wasn't kidding about Lord Ramirez's players training them how to fight because she disarms you
And then moves your arm.
and kicks you off of the bar, and standing. I was almost going to stand up, but I didn't because I don't want Lord of the Board Brad to decapitate me. She stands triumphantly on the edge of the bar and smiles and says, "Perhaps, milady, you will always remember the name of." And
Definitely
she just,
not in the way.
do you have dodge vomit as a skill?
Run like
And
Run
Rosemary
like hell.
is sick all over herself, rendering her unusable for the performance in the evening.
I turn to the guy and I go, "That doesn't happen every night."
And with that, we will leave you for our second break into the next segment of our heist here for Dusk City Outlaws. So we'll be back in 10, everyone. And welcome back, everyone. So we're still doing a little bit of legwork for our funeral job, and we're cutting back to Ivan going to the Silk House in Little Tauna, or Tauna. I don't know. Guess I should have called you Rodney. Sorry. To take out the driver, Callista, who is seeing her favorite what do you call it? Lady.
Lady
At Madame Amaranth's, which is the silk house that he prefers. Now, just kind of lay out what you have to do and whether or not you want to attempt all these things or you want to ask for assistance from other people. You need to get into position, you need to take the shot, and you need to clear the body. Those are the 3 obstacles that you need to deal with. So take a look at your skills, see which ones you think you can do well, and maybe and ask for help from people who can do other things.
Hey, Mr. Cleaner.
Yes.
You want to clean?
Sure. What do you need me to clean?
Bodies.
I got you.
Which I love how he's
Got you,
actually
fam.
just a crab.
I think everything else I can do myself.
Okay, so how are you getting into position?
I'd first like to case the joint to see if I can find a location
Okay.
that I can see. Either find out what room they're in and see if I can find a place to see.
Sure,
into
go
it.
ahead and case that joint.
Case that joint. Case that joint.
I was just gonna do case that
53
joint.
out of 80.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to find a well, you tell me where do you find a nice clear shot from into the window of the room that you need to shoot.
Let's go with like most heist movies, roof across the street.
Okay. It's pretty
'Cause that's
pretty classic.
That's standard.
Okay. So we cut back to you, and I'm assuming you're getting together your big crossbow.
My heavy crossbow.
Yeah. Now, Remy, you should be thinking about how you want to clear the body once he's taken his shot.
It's
'cause that's
in
gonna
this room, in this building.
Okay, so it's going to be in a room in a building.
Mhm.
Okay.
or are you going to wait until I'm assuming there's probably like a balcony or something?
Let's say yes.
Okay. Does that help?
So it's going to be on a balcony, on a room in a building.
The room will have a balcony. It's either on the balcony or in the room, depending on where they're at. I can't tell people where to walk.
I'll figure it out when
Well, let me ask you this, Remy. Is there a way that you think you can get the driver out onto the balcony? Would that make your job easier?
Yeah, it could actually. What could I how could I get him out there?
Throw rocks at the
I have throw something.
Yeah, throw a rock through his window. Fuck it.
Sure.
Okay.
Or could I just be like, "Hey, you're parked in my spot."
Sure. Which of those will
put
fit
your
your
horse in
skill
my
profile better?
Let's distract someone.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead and roll distract someone. I'm gonna say you're gonna be rolling with two bad dice because Callista is probably a little busy to notice somebody screaming at her through the window.
Oh shit!
That was a 6.
Nice.
All right.
So you did very
Did
well.
I get any bad stuff?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, good. I don't need to use my lucky charm.
So I feel like we cut to the inside of the silk house and it's kind of a swoopy romantic scene, and then the awful voice of Remy is like,
"Hey, you're in my spot." Sorry.
Nice job spiking the mics.
I feel like he was on it right away.
I gave you a moment. That's fine.
And Kalisa says, "Stay right here, baby. Keep doing that."
Keep doing what you're doing.
She opens the door, and I think she's short-haired, well-built, and leans down over the balcony to. Who the hell are you?
I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to him. Get him out here, quick. Now.
That is him.
That is him. Hey, you lady. Hi. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Clearly.
You're in my spot.
What are you talking about? Your spot?
This is where I park every day for work.
Yeah. I'd probably just aim up and shoot during this conversation. I prefer if they're leaning over the balcony.
That
like,
way they might fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also dropped something right here.
It has your name on it.
What?
Jerry?
Ooh, ding. Okay, I'm gonna
Your
say
name, Jerry?
we're gonna roll 2.
I was wondering how long I was gonna have to do that before you
Yes.
shot.
I'm
It
having
is
fun
his
with
first
it.
job. His first job.
I rolled a 1,
Ooh.
Score.
and I can cancel up to 2 bad things because I have steady aim.
Oh wow! Is it so? Cancel up to 2? Is that once per thing, or no? Automatically? Holy cats! So yeah,
Overpowered.
no,
Ivan.
he's
I got 1 skill,
he's real good at shooting.
and that's shooting.
Everything else, terrible. Shooting, great.
You're good at casing joints and concealing objects. And
so
loading
you
people
wait.
and
You like
intimidating
it's like so she leans and you're like no, not yet. And she leans a little more. You're like no, not yet. And And the third lean is as she is letting out a stream of profanity that is hitting you in the face. Just, what is you stupid and shku. And she leans for that third time and flips over the balcony.
As she's like wobbling, I snap my fingers, and a group of dudes come
And just, like firemen catch her.
like catch her in a blanket
Yeah.
and immediately wrap her up and carry her up.
Yeah. Perfect.
Just imagine you had like a garbage can.
Yeah.
What's the
Push down the street.
the silk lady doing?
What she was doing?
You should go bone her, 13-year-old you.
I don't think that's how
He's
that
just
would work.
a child.
Yeah, I was like,
Drusilla.
well, no, I was gonna say that would not go well.
Well, if we're not supposed to let people know that we replaced the driver, there probably shouldn't be witnesses.
Oh.
She's not really a witness. She's just.
Wait, is there
Wow.
a witness?
There was a person in the room with her.
I can.
Now, I have an obvious solution here that I think we could apply.
Shooting?
Okay, I have a second obvious solution here that I think we could apply that ties into one of the quirks that one of the players drew, but I don't know if...
So what happens is,
Hint, hint, hinty,
I
hint.
hear something happen on the balcony, and I go out, put my hair over my shoulder, and then leave.
Because...
It was me the entire time.
Oh.
One of my
Or your quirk.
my quirk is stunning.
Oh.
So I just went and took the place of her lady friend that she
Nice.
normally goes to for tonight, and
So why don't you go ahead and give me a stunning roll, though?
Do I
Yeah.
recognize her or do I shoot her right away?
No, you recognize it.
thank you. My seduce someone is at 80%. That is an 89. So I'm gonna use some luck to
Yep.
to get that to 79.
You try to flip your hair over your shoulder, it whips you in the face.
Yeah, it like
It hits you in the eye too. You know how bad that hurts when your hair hits you in the
So
eye.
her hair is super long. She tries to do like a Bollywood whip around her neck, but the tail end comes and goes.
You know how bad that hurts too.
Yeah. So okay.
All right. So the driver's taken care of. You need to pull the. So now we cut to you trying to get the information on the necklace. Where are you getting that information from?
An antiquities dealer.
Okay, so this is probably in the merchant district.
Yes.
Are you conspicuous there?
No, I'm chill, as long as it's not little
Okay.
to know that one.
So
Tano?
How nah?
Tana?
I should
How
probably
not?
take him with me because he's the one who has to get the dude to replicate it.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah. So you're
How nah?
so I think you're kind of waiting around for him. How are you going to get the information? Are you going to steal it? Are you going to lie to the jeweler? Like, what is your plan of attack here? Because what the way that you set up these legwork scenes is the players tell the judge what how they're going to accomplish it, and then the judge kind of goes, okay, that means that this is a thing you have to deal with, this is a thing you have to deal with, this is a thing you have to deal with.
So, I think first I'm going to try and convince him to give me the information at 65%.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, I'll go to the backup of intimidate someone at 80%.
Okay. So you're going to
So I think flattery probably.
okay. Like
Flat-
you okay.
Like not flattery of the jeweler as a person, but flattery of the store, the value of the antiques.
Okay.
And flattery of this person's obvious knowledge of such very important artifacts as this necklace.
Okay. So you
Wait outside for me, darling. I'll call you when I need you.
Who are you talking to?
You.
That's a lot of scenes.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Oh, he is? Okay. Well, then maybe he doesn't need to be there.
well, we'll see.
It's complicated instead.
Yeah. Because you still have to do the forgery. Because
Yeah.
he was in the scene for D.
I
He
was
was in
in-
the scene for Ivan.
I'm a magic man. I do things. I make problems go away. Thank you, Michael McDonald.
Yeah. Go down the singing heart. So
What's your
let's
heart?
see here. No.
I'm upset.
No visit. All right, so you got to
I think I put on my bestest black mink,
right.
as one does. You know, and you hear the click, clack, click, clack.
Oh man,
I love the heel
You've got
sound.
those boots. You've got those boots. You're wearing them for every character. Doesn't matter.
Welcome to Theater of the Mind Players ASMR. Today, clacking sounds.
I'll show you some of my Foley work.
Hashtag sexy Foley. So
It's a thunderstorm.
poor Brad, Lord of the Board, is like, what is wrong with all of you?
The sound of disappointment.
So I think
I'm hilarious.
So I think it's. Can somebody please give me a ringing of an antique bell over the door?
Ding, ding, ding,
It's-
ding. Ding, ding, ding.
Moo! I don't know. So we. Okay, so you've got to convince the.
Completely off the rails. It's done. I have to convince
And
the
you all-
shopkeeper to give me this very important information.
Right.
Yep. Bless you.
Okay.
Name?
The shopkeeper is. I almost said Jared.
He went to Jared.
Kessler.
Like, if we're gonna do that, then I think we at least should get some like money.
Right.
So
His name is J. Rod.
that's worse.
Simon. I don't know.
Gerhard.
Nedward.
Carmen.
Carmen. Lady? Or man named Carmen?
A lady named Carmen.
Okay.
And so is it? So this is an antiquities dealership.
Yes.
Okay. I said that dealership like there's like it's like antique cars.
Used cars.
But come on, let me show you this.
Very expensive. Ming Dynasty Bay.
So then I just like peruse some ornate boxes, and I like I have gloves on, of course. You don't want to touch the merchandise with your oily, dirty hands.
Your hands are pretty dirty.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You got it.
I've just been eating pie all day. So I like touch the lid and I look for dust and make my way very casually over.
May I help you? Carmen is she's got the pince-nez glasses. Thank you. And she's a short, stout woman built like a tiny Christmas tree. And
She has a tiny head.
Looks like
It's
a
a
star.
but she does actually kind of jingle when she walks because she has a lot of jewels, and so she is in and of herself a bit of a like sales rack because a lot of the pieces that she has are for sale.
Say,
Wearing a nice cap with a tag hanging off the side.
yes, I'm looking to speak. I'm looking to speak with someone. I have an inquiry I need to make on a very old, very important piece of jewelry. I wonder if Carmen might be available.
Well, that's me, madame. Yes, I do specialize in all sorts of jewelry, as you can see, and she holds her like literally every hand or finger has like a ring on it.
Oh, darling, this one is stunning. Vienna?
Westport, actually.
Oh, yes, of course.
Fantasy Vienna.
Yeah, actually, New Dunhaven is. Well, no, that's more fancy Venice. Anyway,
It is an honor to meet you, Miss Carmen. I have heard of your knowledge of antiquities from all the way over in...
make up a time name. Do it. Do it.
all the way over... in Argosia.
Or Bloodhaven. No.
I have heard of your knowledge of antiquity all the way over in Argosia.
Oh, well, you are a very well-traveled woman, Miss.
Oh, you can call me Drusilla.
Drusilla. So, is there any piece in particular that you would like to inspect?
Well,
Are you interested in provenance, or are you interested in purchasing?
Well, perhaps both if you have it. I'm not entirely sure of its whereabouts. You see, it's a very special item. Can you tell me the name of the item again?
Necklace of Eternal Slumber.
Yep.
I kind of like the idea that you actually whispered that to one of your ghost buddies. You're like, what is it? The Necklace of Eternal Slumber. Thank you. No problem.
You see, I'm looking for an item dubbed the Necklace of Eternal Slumber.
Oh.
Very well known for its sleeping healing properties.
Yes, that unfortunately, well, while I hate to damage or tarnish the reputation that I've apparently cultivated in Arcosia, but unfortunately that item is something that belongs to the royal family of Dunhaven.
Oh, it's a royal piece.
Yes, it's a part of the collection of House Gorgov. Although I will say that if I don't know what your travel plans are, but I do know that it's actually being featured as part of a processional that is going to be taking place tomorrow, as a matter of fact, as it is going to be on display with the unfortunately recently departed Marianne Gorgov.
Oh, yes, of course.
Catholicism and.
How about this? I make the sign of the
No. I like the flair at the end. Like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, what a terrible tragedy! But what an opportunity to see the item.
Yes, I've only seen it in illustrations. I believe. Well, give me. So go ahead and give me your convince somebody. I'm gonna throw a
58 under 65. Thank
All right.
God. Who?
Yeah, I do actually have a small sketch of it as in one of my royal in one of my codexes of royal jewelry. Oftentimes, those of a slightly less noble blood wish for me to procure copies and facsimiles so that they can impress their lessers. If you would just stay here for a moment, please.
Of course.
And Miss Carmen goes and grabs a big tome book and flumps it on the counter in the shop. And
Does dust just go
yeah.
everywhere? I think I just...
And yes, here it is, and she spins it, and it is this pearl necklace. It's this necklace with these thinly woven silver strands that look like spider webs that connect the jewels and also kind of drape off of the piece.
Did you just play that for me?
That was a little bit of Danielle baiting. I apologize, but come on, it's the Necklace of Eternal Slumber. It's gonna be goth as shit.
Oh yeah, no, I think I just take a look at it and I do one of these and I just go.
And it ends in a jeweled piece with a kind of a porcelain face with painted closed eyes with ruby red lips that's actually a carved ruby.
How dare you? How dare you? Okay, I think did somebody draw this? So I think and that's a real gasp. That's not me pretending because she likes fine things. I think I just go. That is one of the most exquisite pieces of jewelry I have ever laid eyes upon.
Well, I mean, it is a piece from the royal family. They can spare no expense for these sort of things, and as it is also a ritual piece. I mean, this necklace has been passed down from generation to generation. So, what even if you were to make a copy with the same materials. Today, it would cost the cost would be astronomical, much less the original, which is, dare I say, priceless.
I think I say, I want to make sure that I keep an eye out for it. I'll visit the funeral. Boy!
I think that's you.
It's you.
I don't move.
Boy!
Who needs to roll complications?
Oh my god. You should have brought fresh face, boy.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you're a child.
Yeah.
Can I retcon it?
Retcon it?
Yeah, if you want to be there, you can definitely be there.
Sure. So I think I go, boy.
I run in.
Thank you.
I get down on one knee. And I hold up my hands.
No. Oh, stand up, you blithering idiot.
You mangled, idle-headed Leudster.
Take a good look at this item. Make sure that I am able to spot it tomorrow.
Can I reach over and rip out the page?
No.
Now, I was just about to say before you declared that you did that, so I will give you the opportunity. If you do actually acquire the page, because this sketch is so detailed, that will give Remy an advantage on recreating it.
Fine, rip out the page and we'll see what
And
happens.
run.
Oh no.
Do you just book it?
Yeah, I just rip it out and book it.
Stop, thief! And
Oh, I do have distract someone, but
well,
no.
I have a weird question.
oh, now you have a weird question.
Can I just turn around and intimidate her and then walk out slowly?
Or
is that too much?
I'm gonna say you can absolutely do that, but I'm gonna say you're gonna be doing that with 3 challenge dice against
Let's
you.
do it.
Oh.
All right.
Why did we say Ethan should do this part?
because Tony was being an asshole.
I was just waiting for my name. My name is not boy.
It is when I'm playing. Whatever.
Oh,
Fuck.
Jesus,
no.
Ethan.
What did you roll?
A 98.
Oh my god!
And he got 2 complications.
Can I use some luck on this?
How much frickety frackin' luck do you
You
need?
could've
How
just
much-
been polite.
How much?
but you had
Well, how
to
much
be
luck
rude.
do you want to spend on it?
My intimidate's an 80.
So
Okay.
really
You just
10
need to use
points.
yeah. Well,
Well, I need 20. I need to use 20 points.
Oh,
80.
you can spend luck however you want. If you want to scare the lady, you can absolutely scare the lady.
Let's do it. It's on the edge. Let's do it. 20 luck gone.
But I think that you are not, however, going to scare the city watch minions who hear her
Ethan.
or who hear them shouting out after you. So, what do you want to do?
If
here?
only you would have just come in and look at the thing.
If only you would have been nice.
I was playing a role.
So was I.
He's an independent. He don't need no
Yeah.
boss.
All right, Beyonce. Listen,
Okay, let's
Yeah.
not go comparing people to Beyonce.
Yeah.
that's
She
true.
is immaculate and amazing.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
Ooh.
No, Michelle has a very delightful gospel career and career on the stage.
Am I supposed to know who this is? Yeah.
Michelle, she's the 3rd Destiny's Child. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
I thought that was just Brandy.
No. What? No.
Isn't she all of the children?
No.
I think we need to stop.
Let's
We're digging a hole.
No. Let's just close that conversation right now.
All right,
Never
so
happened. Yeah.
you have a pair of City Watch, City Watchmen chasing after you through the streets of.
Can I come out of the bar at this moment? Grab the page and run like hell?
It's just 2, right?
It's just 2.
Just 2.
How bad is it to kill City Watch?
Oh, Jesus.
Real bad. That's going to generate some heat.
Can I just
bro.
come out of the bar at this moment,
Well-
grab the page and run like hell?
But if he gets caught, he still gets caught.
So
They'll
right
go for
now,
what they get.
Little boy
Just-
What
about
do you
to
really
die.
do? Tear a page out of a book?
He stole something from a jewelry shop. That's still stealing.
so just by running from the watch, you're generating some heat. And
So we're up to 10?
11.
12.
12.
And we've
Great.
only
Don't worry.
gone through 1 day.
Don't worry.
And we're
Well,
not even done yet.
technically, because you're hitting the thing at
At
night,
night.
you're not going to be
Doing
generating
the
a
full
ton
2
of heat. Like you got
Theoretically.
like
Unless we want to make some spoopy happen.
Trust me, I got it covered.
Oh, do you?
he does.
I do.
Oh, do you have it covered
So
now?
how you so
Could you have been nice? No.
Okay,
Is that so
okay,
hard?
okay.
Okay.
so if you
I'm not asking for a Porsche here.
Cordelia, if you want to jump in, you absolutely can.
I can take the page and run like hell because
or
I can run faster, and then we
Can I use
split.
my sneak around skill?
um,
Or is that different?
I could cause a distraction, then you can get away by sneaking.
I think you're bolting you because they've got eyes on you, so you've got to get away first.
Oh. I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna run out and look at the guards and say, "Oh my gosh, Madame Rosemary of Lord Ramirez's players is quite ill. She needs help. Help! Help! Someone!" Oh! And then I faint into the arms of one of the officers.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're gonna roll three
all of the dice that you have. Just
three
all-
advantage dice for the. You know what? No, we're gonna do all four. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So that's convince someone.
Or
A lie.
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
It is true.
It's true.
Okay, that's true. I'm
Good.
better at convincing now.
You can
That's okay.
convince. You're
She's
I'm
got-
better
she's
at lying.
better
I mean,
at lying.
sorry. I'm better at lying than I am at convincing. That's okay. I rolled a 1.
Oh my god.
So
my
Can
new
I roll
dice.
your dice?
I love my new dice.
So yeah, you go bolting through the streets, and they're like, "Freeze, kid!" And then they chase after you. They come around a corner, and you're walking out, and you're like, "I need
You give the
help!"
performance of your goddamn life.
And it's one of those falls where you definitely look and give it a second so you know they're gonna catch you.
You check the pit for snakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
It's in stage combat. Looking behind you before you do a stage fall is referred to as checking the pit for snakes, like
I-
Indiana Jones.
Did not know that.
Thank you,
And
Harrison
I will
Ford,
continue
once
to
again.
forget it.
So
I
I'm
also
going to
annoyed
say
the
that
cat.
so because you succeeded, you removed one of the goons, and because you rolled a boon, we're going to have you remove another goon.
There were only 2 of them, right?
Yeah,
Oh, see, they're gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you are so lucky. You are so lucky, Ethan. It's all part of your cunning plan, we know.
Okay.
The plan picking up as he goes.
So, what are you doing?
When I was going to clean the scene.
So, read what that says.
Clean the scene. Instead of taking lead on a legwork scene, you can clean up the mess your crew left behind in a legwork scene that just ended. You and your crew of cleaners that you direct clean up evidence, dispose of bodies, bribe and intimidate witnesses, and repair any damage done to the area. The judge removes half of the heat from the previous scene before adding the remainder to the heat pool.
Okay. So that would mean that you would you basically lose 3 heat. However, it does say that you have to take the lead on the scene, which means that somebody else would have to take the
Go and
lead
get the
on the
Forgery.
the forgery scene.
Which we kind of need you for.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought this was a different scene altogether. I thought this was just figuring out what it looked like.
Well, it's assumed that you're basically in the background taking care of this while everybody else is doing all the other stuff.
Ah, gotcha.
So you can still do it, but that would mean that somebody else would have to go and get the necklace.
What is the right kind of people?
That is the euphemism that the members of the cartels use to describe themselves. So, you know, is this person the right kind of people? You know.
Okay. So it's not, find someone who. Okay.
So I'll leave it up to you. If you want to clean the scene, you certainly can.
I won't.
Okay. So that lets you take the lead on the actual. So how are you getting the? What is your plan to get the?
I was going to spend an influence,
Oh, and just do it.
call in a favor from one of the right kind of people that you previously did a job with,
Okay.
and the favor obviously being
Make this forgery.
yeah.
Dope.
Real quick.
Lickety split.
Okay.
Pull a Red Reddington, walk in and be like, I don't think you can do it in the time that I
Or an Alucardison. And have him just complain the entire time, but deliver it promptly and
Yeah.
beautifully.
Okay.
And
So do I give this to you?
amazingly.
Yeah, you give that to me.
Bye.
And we'll. So, who is the person that you're calling in a favor from?
Frodrick.
Noise.
And what does he do when he's not falsifying classic artifacts?
He's a mailman.
What a diverse skill set.
Well, he gave me no restrictions. I just, whatever.
okay.
Whatever came
So,
my
where are you
mind.
meeting with Frodrick to get the item?
I figure on his like break, he's probably like getting lunch somewhere, and I'll just like sit down with him.
Okay.
Like maybe I know where he likes to chill.
Are there a lot of package euphemisms in
Oh,
your
yeah.
conversation?
Oh yeah.
I got the package that you ordered.
Do you have the
It's in my
package?
Okay.
The cuckoo crows at midnight.
My package is getting even tighter.
Oh my, no, okay, I
Wait.
apologize. Nope.
The
I'm so
cock
sorry
cries
that
at dawn.
I'm sorry that you're dealing with shrinkage. I know that's tough.
something stamp. I don't know.
5.9. 5.9.
So, Frederick is eating, and he's eating messily and quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit down, and he doesn't look at you. We're gonna ask you for it or what?
Hey, Fro. Could you? I need you to forge this for me.
No,
It's already
sorry,
happened.
it's already happened.
Oh.
So because so we're cutting to. I'm sorry, I should have stated my scene intent more clearly. We're cutting to you getting the
Package.
the package.
Oh, right.
So my apologies. I didn't.
That's
want to
okay. That's okay. Now that I know. Do I just grab it?
Just grab
That's
his
what she
package.
said.
Anthony, consent is very important.
That's why he asked.
May I
I've heard enough
please
about it.
grab?
A mute button we can press.
I don't think I found it. No.
Oh god. Okay.
So what's this for?
It's not a need-to-know basis.
Well, I need to know before I give it to you. It'll help. I mean, this is a rush job, and you're not paying me anymore. So I need to make up a little extra on this somehow.
Do I have money that I can give?
You probably if you want to pay him more, you certainly can. That'll be a convince.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go ahead and make a convince roll.
13 out of 80.
he
Now it's nice.
he
Now you like what I'm doing.
He smiles and takes the extra money. Like he's like I think he was expecting you to be like, well, I'm not going to pay. And when you flop the extra coins on the table, he smiles and says, "This must be a pretty big job if you're willing to pay that much for it."
No, I'm just feeling generous today.
He reaches into his
It's actually for my niece.
satchel and pulls out a thing and unwraps it and shows you the forgery. And as far as you can tell, it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, I just look at it and go like, my God, am I watching Da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa? This is wonderful. Good work.
He smiles as he forks more food into his mouth.
Fantasy food.
You fantasy hot dogs. You heard it. They're made of goblin meat.
Yikes. Yikes, Aruni.
So normally, in a case like this, I would come up with these obstacles for you to overcome. But because you spent influence, it's basically it happens. So that's why I'm not like, oh no, there's a lightning bolt.
There's a dragon there.
And as a matter of fact, he says, or as he's finishing his You want? I'm surprised you didn't ask me. I'm surprised you didn't ask me to make one for the dog too.
The dog.
Yeah. Well, this is for the that's from House Gorgoff. That's the Necklace of Eternal Slumber. Like you're not. This isn't. I'm just saying it's a very unique piece, and as a mailman, I know dogs. All right.
You do know dogs. I gotcha. I smell where you're stepping. That's some dog shit.
So I've delivered things to that house before, and they got a mean old dog there by the name of Orthrus. I think that's what they shouted out when the thing nearly bit my face off.
Well, what do you do when you got to deliver the mail?
I asked someone else to. See, from what I heard was the Lord of the Manor rescued that dog from like a dog fighting barge or something, and
so
because
it's mean and it's loyal.
Yep.
Great.
And it was particularly loyal to the lady of the house too, so it's probably in a pretty bad mood.
I'll keep that in mind. By the way, got any stamps?
Cut to. So what are you doing to case the switch spot?
So I'm checking if there's any, because this is Fantasy Venice, pretty much. If there's a good place for us to maybe dock a boat to pull the hearse into, then we could make an escape down the canal.
Oh yeah.
And do like a switch back to another dock to get the hearse back up and join the parade.
Okay.
So I'd be looking for a place where that is convenient and isn't conveniently located to be a distraction that would cause the parade to break up and have to scatter for a little bit to sort of throw confusion about where the hearse went.
Okay. I think
idea.
you find a very good spot for that to happen. But let's see. Who do you have to scare? I think you have to scare somebody because there's somebody already in that spot.
Okay.
And I think it is a.
Blow some stuff up.
Oh. Just, you don't have to blow up a boat, and by blow up a boat I mean punching it. Maybe you are going to have to blow up a boat by punching it.
One of my skills is break something. If it needs to be the whole.
So I think what you come across is you find a nice shady spot where the hearse could unload into the boat, and then you can pull the switch, and then basically it's like here's the canal. You pull the hearse over here. You get it into the boat. You do the switch in the boat, and by the time the boat gets across the other canal, you've already got the hearse on the other side ready to keep going. Though you're not, from what I remember of the plan, you're not necessarily doing this during the
Parade.
Perception. You're doing it like basically you're doing it before, like while they were on the way to the boat to do the processional. And you've got what have you got to do here? I think you've got a set of like canal, like basically I think you've got like a small set of thugs who have I'm kind of throwing you in the Elliot role here. A small set of... She's like, go on, I'm Elliot as a dragon. How did you read all of my fan fiction? I keep that in my locked diary, you scoundrel.
You scallywag.
So there are... we'll call it 4. Who...
Looked at my account, Jordan Fishburne, an archive of our own.
You've got 4 thugs who basically what they do is if they see somebody like I think this is a canal that kind of has a slightly shadier, like, it's kind of a back alley canal. So a lot of smugglers and people who don't necessarily want their cargo to be searched. So they basically have a rope that one guy cranks up to cut across the canal so they can't pass it, and then they play out along the rope and basically say, "All right, time to pay the toll, you poor suckers." So they've got this winch set up along
winch?
the winch bitch. And then they have the corresponding thing on the other side. So how are you going to convince these guys to maybe clear out for the next day or two, if not longer, depending on their hospital stay?
All right. So I'm assuming they're minion level.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that. Well, they have a winch across, right? So they're not really in a boat.
No.
Okay.
They have a small, like 1 or 2 person, almost like a kayak that they basically, when they decide to zip everything up, that's what they use to travel out to whatever boat they catch, and then I think it's a line, but there's also like a net underneath too.
Okay. So
You look like you have a plan, or you're just zoning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
You were in Turkey land. I apologize.
Turkey land?
Yeah, you eat some
It's
turkey.
right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh.
the recovery.
Or are you
land for
communing with the
pie.
dead? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just being possessed for a little bit.
Okay.
Don't
Get
mind me.
that LARP girl. Okay.
Don't.
Sorry.
I take a small vessel up to their general area of ambush and sort of just wait for them to come on up.
Oh, so you're gonna dangle yourself as bait?
Yeah, just let
You
them
are
know.
stunning.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So yeah, they zip it up and the net pops up and they're like, and you can hear them saying, maybe we're gonna get some powder, man. That's awesome. For those of you at home who are unfamiliar, the Red Lotus Society kind of have the gunpowder market cornered. So this is a very foolish thing for them to hope for. Like, oh, maybe if we kidnap the president, we'll get one of his rings. You know. So they hop on board, and I'm assuming you've got like a little kind of junk-looking, fishing boat, and they pull out their weapons, and they're like, all right. Time to pay the canal tax, lady.
Let me show you how bad of an idea this is. I breathe onto my fist, and it's engulfed in green flame. And the kayak that they brought out, I just punch at it. Like, just even very basic.
You just Luigi fireball the crap out of it.
And
Put a hole through the bottom so they start sinking, or
it just punches a hole through the entire craft.
All right, so you're sorcering it up, huh?
I am doing
All right.
that. That was my
So roll your sorcery.
form the destruction takes in the scope of the devastation.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Damn.
So I just got all of the bad challenge points. Let's hope that that's a 52, so I beat my 90.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good, everybody. That's good. The 4 challenge dice. That's not so good.
I did explode a thing.
Yeah.
He warned me not to explode a thing.
It's right there in the character description.
But it looked really cool. I mean...
So, I think what is going to happen is... Man, this is... Like, normally you can do things like, oh, I'm going to throw things, so... Well...
Is Jordan in trouble?
Could you miss and hit your own boat as well?
I mean, I can
punch
swim.
yourself in the face. It just goes through.
Well, no. What happens is you go, Pia! And the kayak blows up out of the water, and you're like, ha ha! And then you see it as it starts to drop down, and you're like, oh no! And you dive as it crashes down on your own boat and explodes the boat that you got from poor Uncle whoever for this. And
Uncle Lee is gonna be so mad.
Uncle Lee is going to be so mad as it crashes down and explodes the other boat. But so there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that you definitely scared off the folks from that particular thing. The bad news is we're going to add a little bit of heat.
When you say little,
A little more.
7 more.
2 for each
8
one
more.
that I rolled.
Oh my god.
8 more.
So that's going to bring us to 20 heat. As
I am so
That's
sorry.
effed.
And I can't clean the scene, right?
you can next time if you want.
Okay.
And we'll figure out what happens with that sweet 20 heat
Nice
as
job,
we go
David.
to our final segment
I'm so sorry.
for the funeral job right after this break. And we are back for our final segment of Dusk City Outlaws, the funeral job. When we last left our crew, they had finished the preparations. one of whom, perhaps a bit
One
too
of whom
enthusiastically,
fucked everything up.
and they are making their way to the wake right now so that they can pull a body switch and get the necklace off of the deceased form of Marianne Gorgov. Because it is now night, we add more heat to their total, which is at 28.
Christ,
I am going to spend 8 of those points immediately to add some additional complications to the funeral that they were not expecting, and they will deal with those as they run into them.
To be fair, there was already H's added.
I basically just added the 8 that they got, that they racked up naturally. So, and so, are you all posing as members of the performance troupe, or
I'm
what?
the hearse driver. Yeah.
I'll probably wait outside in the hearse.
I can get as many of you in as needs be.
Mm-hmm.
Should
I
be
mean,
like
I
a-
can
Because
be
that's
there
my
to
influence.
back you up, I guess.
So let me tell you about the obstacles that you need to deal with before you are free and clear and can pull the switch. There are 3 squads of House Gorgov private security.
Minions or NPCs?
Minions.
Okay.
But there's 4 in each squad, so you've got to deal with 12 of them. There is a mansion full of mourners that you have to deal with. There is Talia Gorgov, aka Death on Horseback. And who knew that Lord Barristan was invited to the funeral, which means you're going to have to deal with him because he's going to be following you around like a puppy dog. Because he's very excited to see this performance.
I'm definitely bringing my assistant in, my new apprentice.
Okay.
I'm not good yet.
Exactly.
Still learning.
She's my apprentice
Okay.
actress.
Thank you.
She's
because
got-
that
she's
would
got
have been
the
very
face.
difficult.
Yes.
But-
So she
No.
auditions for theater roles with monologues from movies and TV.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly that.
I used to do that.
You were not supposed to.
D, I forgot the words to my monologue again.
I used to audition with monologues from Kids in the Hall. So what do I know? This is why I'm not a professional actor. This is why I just messed around in college. So. All right, so that's your apprentice. Where is everybody else as we start this scene? So it sounds like the 2 of you are in the wagon out front.
Yep.
or-
Oh, here, take my influence. That's for my hearse.
Okay.
Yep. Mine is for getting us in the theater. Guild group people.
Okay. Wow. All right.
This is mine.
I was. Yeah, you're right. So you're getting her in. She's holding on to it in case you blow something else up. Remy, what are you doing? Where are you? What's going on?
I'm trying to think of what I could be that would allow me to move
I could
around.
get you in as a stagehand. He's my personal stagehand. I need him for my wigs.
Okay.
So he's your wig person?
He's my wig man.
It's like a wingman, but
Yeah.
Without the N. Yes. All right. So you've got those two in as part of your theater troupe. The two of you are hanging outside, ready to ride the drive the hearse with the body. How are you taking care of these obstacles? There's Talia, Lord Barristan, the Mangerful of mourners, and private security. So, just so you're aware of how this is going to work, each of these obstacles has a luck number after it, and when you succeed on doing something, whatever you're basically going to cause damage to it. Damage, dick quotes. And once you have damaged an obstacle enough with whatever plan, so lying to it will cause damage, or bonking them on the head will cause damage, however you handle it, once you've caused enough damage to reduce it to 0, you're all set.
I have an idea for Talia. I would like to cause a distraction and convince her to give me some backstory on her mother, because I have not had the time to prepare for my role as Rosemary would have, and I need
That
to
bitch!
understand. Yes, I need to understand who
That
Mariana
amateurish
Gorgov
bitch.
was before I can go on as her.
Oh, I forgot there is also Orthrus, the dog.
The dog.
Oh, right.
lover.
Yeah, the dog. Okay.
You have. Oh, don't forget your raven.
Yes.
Can your raven do cool stuff?
Yes. He follows simple commands.
Oh, okay. So like peck.
Or like
eat,
steal.
chomp.
Distract,
Distract.
dog.
Okay, so this is gonna be a stretch, but like,
Bulldog
does stuff
tail.
like convince or distract someone also work on animals?
I don't see why not.
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can just take a ball and go, here, scary demon dog.
Yeah,
Here, buddy.
I don't think it's gonna be that simple, but
I assume the dog isn't directly invited in the mourners.
Oh no, the dog is like whenever,
Full-fledged member of the family.
like the where the casket is laid out and Mariana is on display. The dog literally walks next to the casket and then just flumps down.
Great.
And when they because of the way that the story is set up and they move the casket from room to room, the dog follows.
can I
That dog
convince
is
the
so
dog
valid.
that I'm not
Oh my
a
God.
threat?
What's that?
Can I convince the dog I'm not a threat? Like I'm not anything it needs to worry about.
You're gonna give it some sausages, or what do you? How
Could
how
I
you?
convince the dog that I am Mariana Gorgov? If my acting is good enough.
Why can't you just call him a good boy?
I don't smell
Well,
like
my plan was if you were gonna allow me, I was gonna like retcon that I brought like a
A
juicy
steak.
steak or something for him.
The old juicy steak.
We're also supposed to
Um,
make some supernatural stuff happen.
Are you? So are you trying to get it to leave the side of the casket?
That, but my main thing was just to make sure that like if I'm walking around, it's not like
stalking you.
yeah.
As long as you're walking around, it's not going to bug you.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just going to make sure that anybody that approaches the casket is okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like it's not walking the grounds of House Gorgov. It's basically there to protect its mistress even in death.
okay.
So I could. Okay, so I'm outside. If we need me to come in and scare everyone out of the house by animating our corpse, got you.
Oh god. That sounds like such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like such a great idea.
We could do that, but we can't just blow up the
To be
ship.
fair-
Do I have enough heat for
I was
that?
gonna
I don't know.
say,
if
Jordan's
that-
like-
Rodney, I'm gonna need more tokens.
We're gonna run out of heat tokens. Is
Yep.
that what you just said, Rob?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Okay, so what is your plan of attack here? We've got the dog, Talia, Lord Barristan, the Mourners, and Private Security. You said so you're gonna go.
I'm gonna convince Talia that she needs to spend a good amount of time with me, helping me study the role of her mother, and of course to give some of that knowledge to my lovely new apprentice.
Okay.
Are you giving your
Stone
apprentice
face,
a
no
name?
expression.
No.
My apprentice.
She's not worthy of a name yet.
Yeah.
Once she is.
Damn.
She needs to earn it.
Yikes.
I haven't come up with a stage name yet. I don't want to confuse my future fans.
It must be earned.
The stoniest face actor in the face of the play. I have not come up with a stage name. I don't want to confuse them.
It's all about branding.
Might I suggest Keanu?
I will take these cotton balls from you with my hand and put them in my pocket.
All right. Well, go ahead and give me a convince roll.
I rolled a 63.
Under
80.
Whoa.
All right.
Does
So
she
that-
get advantage because of my great stony facedness?
No.
No. Okay.
I am the
Does
great
she get
stone dragon.
disadvantage because
No.
I think I start with just total flattery, like, Mistress Gorgov, I understand you were so very close with your mother, and I'm so very sorry for your loss. I believe, and pardon me if I'm being forward, but I believe you were her favorite daughter. I truly need to understand who your mother was before I can act in this sacred and tradition.
Thank goodness you rolled well, huh?
I'm gonna need a drink.
Absolutely, apprentice. A drink for Mistress Talia Gorgov.
Oh. Thank you. Get a drink.
And like you come with the glasses, and she snatches the bottle. And just,
I like the way you think.
the words drink.
and she like makes it about halfway through the bottle before she finally readdresses you.
Mm-hmm.
You
The whole time I'm just like,
you want to hear about my mother?
absolutely.
I'll tell you all about my mother.
Okay. That doesn't sound
Nope.
like a good
Nope.
story.
Nope. I'm gonna play a very true to life Mariana Gorgov, which is gonna be probably bad.
You're gonna get booed out of
Yes.
the house.
It's
and
a good
stoned in the
distraction.
street.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that's what you two are doing. How are the rest of you handling the various things? You've got private security, mansion full of mourners, Lord Barristan, and Orthus the loyal pup.
Well, the goal is to obviously swap necklaces, right? Or are we taking the body and then swapping?
I think
Just
we
the
can do that
body.
in the hearse. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to do much? Because
Well, you've got to clear this stuff before
Okay.
you can do it.
Yeah.
So you might as well just
We can clear security probs.
Are they outside or inside?
both.
I'll take care of the pooch, I guess.
How are you clearing security?
Well, we're outside,
Mhm.
right? Just waiting by like the driver's section.
Mhm.
So, would it be that unfeasible for you to just shoot them?
They're 4 each. I can't take out 4 at a time.
Well, because in theory you could. Well, there are ways around that. One, remember the rule of if you're taking out an obstacle, you can just roll whatever you want, or you can convince me that you're doing something to take care of the obstacle, and that's essentially an attack roll. The other thing to do is if you do so in a way that is particularly cool or clever, you get bonus dice, and boons allow you to take out extra minions when you roll them, or advantage dice. So basically, if you're doing something that's entertaining, if you're doing something very appropriate to your character, if you're doing something very risky and fun, or if you're taking advantage of your environment, that would definitely get you these dice.
Are there large gargoyles on top of this mansion.
Yeah.
Are any of them, do they look damaged in any way? As if they could be shot and broken?
Sure.
Could I drop a gargoyle on a group of individuals?
You might, Rabbit. You might. All right. So go ahead and roll. We'll give you 2 to roll. So if you hit this and then get 2 advantages, you can take them. You can take out 1 squad all in 1 shot.
If I hit this and get 1 advantage.
Because he has the barrier.
Because my
Oh
Barrage
yeah! Well, either way, roll it. Let's do it.
Get it?
I got a 47 and
one.
A bonus.
1.
A boon.
A boon.
Boon, boon.
Boon.
Oh, cool. So yeah, tell me how you take out one of the squads.
I want to shoot at the base of one of the gargoyles with my heavy crossbow.
Okay.
Have it like chips a wood or chips a stone crack off, and basically have them plunk down to the ground. They hear it. They're like, what was that? Wander over there, and then.
Perfect. Love it.
Very Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a shillelagh with a skull on the top of it, so...
Now, remember, if only you had some kind of, I don't know, magic
Corpse
power.
What?
There's 4 dead dudes.
Oh, are you close to me? I thought... Okay.
Yeah.
You guys were in the hearse together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of dead dudes. Let's see here. I could use them to intimidate the others. I can't use them to kill the others, though.
I mean, you can.
Well,
Make them
wouldn't that
seem
just
like
be a
they're-
sorcery roll?
To make them kill them?
I could. I could just make them kill him.
Sure, it's sorcery. It's necromancy. You've got a bunch of dead dudes lying around.
Fuck it!
All right, so
Rob just wanted to.
You have to
pick up
roll
all the
4 black
challenge
dice.
I get to roll 4 black dice. You, I'm going to give you 2 boon dice as well.
Ooh, 43 under 90.
That's 1
Alright.
go.
So, one disadvantage happens, as well as... So you take out one of the second squad.
I'll take out one person.
For now, but we'll cut back to you so you can take out more.
Oh, okay.
So tell me how you do your necromancy to spook the crap out of everybody.
Okay. So there's the squad. I just wanted to raise all 4 of them and have each one take a person, but I guess I can only take out 1.
Well, no,
Yeah.
there's a loud crash, and one of the guards go to investigate it, and are shocked to find a bunch of zombies that have popped
Been
back up
squished.
and are now like. So let me. I'll offer you a deal
Oh.
because you have one drawback. You can take out the other the second squad of guards, but rather than killed, there may be a slight, we'll call it, zombie infection that happens, and instead of dead, they're going to wander around the outskirts of the thing and possibly take out the other guards. And
Does that count as supernatural?
it may very well.
Yes. It does. No, and then they could just eat people if these people get in our way. That's a great fucking idea.
All right.
Great.
Sick them on the mansion full of mourners.
Can't control
Now,
zombies.
do they bend to my will, or?
I think we're going to have you make some sorcery rolls to command them, but
Great.
Rasputin.
yeah, like right now, basically all of the guards that got smushed by the gargoyle have now bit the guards that ran over there to see what happened. And so you've now got about, we'll call it 6 zombies that are now just sort of wandering around the outskirts of the thing.
Delightful.
So what are you up to? What are you doing?
So they're mourners, right?
Yep.
Is there any... Where are they exactly?
They're scattered throughout the manor.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to get them all in one place, you certainly can. You tell me what your plan is.
my plan was to take out 2 birds with 1 stone and have the dog, like, attack the mourners.
Oh man, how are you gonna do that?
I was thinking about maybe rounding them up and maybe placing pieces of meat inside their pockets. Or maybe...
Oh.
He could help you put meat in people's pockets.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then maybe the dog
Very
would
subtle.
run
You
to
wouldn't
each of
notice a
them.
giant raven.
I'm trying to figure out if I could get them in a room, maybe I could rile the dog up somehow. Because you said it used to be a fighting dog.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe give it a reason to think that it needs to defend itself or its master.
Work.
Okay. What do you got?
You'd like to cause a ruckus, sir?
Like to cause a ruckus.
So are you going to use Ravenkrantz basically to maybe rile the dog up and like land on it and like peck with it and mess with it? And...
Basically. Sure.
Okay.
And then like maybe I'll go to each mourner and say, could you please all adjourn to this area? We're going to have say a few words kind of thing.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a convince roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you've got 2 disadvantage drawback challenge dice.
Okay.
Sorry, because this is unusual for this particular thing.
Hey.
But
And I got a 30 out of 80.
okay, so that's 50. All right. Do you have to use your pet in a specific way? I'm not quite sure how that
It
works.
just says choose one of the following animals or some other comparable domesticated animal that obeys your simple commands. You add this animal to your equipment and it is treated as a minion.
Okay.
So simple commands like bother dogs.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that because it's a minion, it's gonna do 5 luck to the dog as it kind of flutters around and lands on it and and then flutters back. And so you're so you've got a bunch of the mourners coming in and you're like, I'm so sorry for loss. And as you're shaking their hand, your other hand is dropping a piece of meat like on their their doublet or something.
Meat pockets.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what are you doing to poor Talia? Because she has been drinking hard with the 3 of you.
I'm getting her to bring out all of the worst memories, all of them, until she's just like
Oh my
a
god!
crying mess.
What's interesting about the story, as she tells, is that she's more angry with her mother, not out of terrible things that her mother did, but because of how she stayed with their father, Edward, because he's apparently the real monster here. He would beat them and he would yell at them, and one of the reasons that Talia ended up becoming a bounty hunter was so that she and she's kind of crying or actually no, she's not crying, but she's loudly proclaiming like, I should just challenge that son of a bitch to a duel.
Oh yes. Oh yes. For one, I take her in my arms and I say, darling, of course you should. In fact, I will give you the use of my personal blade. It is the finest make.
Oh man.
Is goad someone also goading somebody to fight with another person?
I think so.
Hell yeah.
What's your goad?
I don't have that.
I have 80 goad,
Fucking
and I can
jump
say, in my people's culture, that would not be stood for. You must defend yourself.
Is he still alive and on the premises?
Yeah.
Let's fucking kill him!
In the middle of a crowd
Distraction.
of mourners.
it would be the honorable thing to do.
All right, give me a goad someone roll.
Roll well, please. 51 out of
Nice.
80.
All right, so that's 29. She's almost out.
And can we make sure that she does that in the middle of the crowd?
She's she's like, you're right. You're absolutely right.
My dear,
That
let
son
us
of
go
a.
find him now.
And she grabs your sword and she's like, Edward, you son of a bitch!
I bring her into the room where the biggest group of people is. at
Oh,
this
you mean
exact
where the
moment.
mourners are all gathered? That you've
Perfect.
gathered into the
Absolute
Rub meat
pandemonium.
Pockets.
with the, full of meat pockets? Yeah.
Absolute pandemonium. That's exactly what we need.
Meanwhile, outside,
I have some zombies.
yeah. Are you doing anything to what you probably need to lure the final group of private security guards into the zombie horde? What are you doing to do that?
Can I goad them into chasing me?
Yeah, sure.
And then just run
Towards the zombies.
towards the zombies?
Yeah, give me a goad summon roll.
That's a 33 out of an 80.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, you get the how do you goad them? Do you just drop out and go like me, or what's your hey come get me move?
I was thinking walking up, maybe throwing something at him and running away.
Okay. It's a
Very 13 years
yeah, it's
old.
very
of
13.
you.
That's a 13-year-old mastermind move
Yeah.
right
Yep.
there. Okay, you chuck the rock. They go hey, and they come chasing you down. And they turn the corner and they get chowed down by some zombies.
Whew.
So are they new zombies or are they dead?
Um.
I think they should be dead.
Oh, you do you? Let's see here. If we get, I'm actually just gonna roll all of these, and if
See which
it
one's
comes up
positive.
more boons than
That's fair.
drawbacks, that's gonna be more zombies.
Oh.
Oh.
And it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think after that particular melee, you've got we'll say 4 zombies left over.
Okay, so everyone else is dead, and I just have 4 zombies.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine. I'm fine.
All right. So
Who's still left?
the dog, Talia, Lord Barristan, and the mansion full of mourners.
So I was going to try to lead the feral dog to the meat-filled
Okay.
mourners.
Go ahead. How are you doing that? With what skill?
For me somewhere. Lie to him.
I could do convince, distract, conceal with meat. I could do.
Probably convince.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 boons for the meat plan, but I'm also gonna roll 2 challenge dice
Because you're being mean to a dog.
shit.
no, because the dog is very loyal and it's gonna be very hard to.
I got a 90 out of an 80. So can I use?
You can spend luck.
I would like to do that.
And
Did I wait? Did you roll?
I'm actually gonna. I did. I rolled 1 drawback, so I'm actually. It's
Well,
gonna.
actually, I have a lucky charm,
Oh, okay.
which means that when you roll either of those, I can use this to re-roll it.
Okay. What? Could you read what it says?
When you make any roll that includes both advantage dice and challenge dice, you can re-roll 1 advantage die or 1 challenge die.
Okay. You want me to roll the one that came up with a skull?
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
So how does your lucky charm save you here? Like, what is it? What does it do?
It's the first coin I ever stole.
Oh,
So basically,
okay.
it's just something that I do that like Doc Holliday roll around
roll
the
finger roll thing. Okay, then
Does
that
it
you
distract the dog because it's shiny?
Could.
The dog really likes close-up magic.
Raven Rain. Yeah. Okay. So you got a. So you burned.
I burned however many to get 90 down to 80.
Okay.
Just
So
10.
10.
Just 10.
I didn't know if that count 1 counted as 2 or something like that.
No, that's fine. Okay. You get the dog into the same room with Talia, and
My hope is that the smell of all the meat and
oh yeah,
the melee makes him go like.
yeah. There was a sword fight going on in the room between Talia and her father. How do I want to handle this?
Do
'Cause
all
I don't
the
want to. I
mourners.
don't want to sit here rolling dice and haha, hey,
Do all the mourners get the fuck out?
I mean, this is prime drama material.
That's true.
Well, does somebody want to grab the body at this point and wheel it out so that it's not?
Probably should be me,
Okay.
given the fact that that's what I do.
Okay. Do you want to give me? Is there like a move something or like?
Conceal an object.
Conceal an object.
Just put a tablecloth over it.
I gotta throw something.
This is the wigs of Madame Cordelia. I just need to make sure they match. I have to make sure they match the Gorgov lady.
Or I could say they're just dirty dishes or something, and cover it in a tablecloth.
Well,
You're
there
the
is a
wig guy.
fight going
So that-
on, so
yeah.
you couldn't easily just be like, "I've got to protect the body." you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Do you have lie to someone?
I have convince someone, distract someone, intimidate someone, lie to someone. I do have.
Roll it.
It's not very good. All right, 14 out of 65.
Okay.
Boop, boop.
So what's that? 35, 45, 45. All right. So I think because Talia is down to only 8 luck, I think that she doesn't really have a long sword fight with her father so much as she just sort of embarrasses herself and like passes. Yeah. and, like,
sorry, Dahlia.
yeah. Because she's like, "Come on, you bastard!" And like does like one overhand swing, and he steps out of the way, and he's a tall, imposing, older man, and just steps out of the way and pow, drops her with one shot.
Yeah, he is a dick.
Yeah.
How can we screw
Can I hit him?
I think it's
No,
a
you're
little
not in
late for
there.
that.
I know.
This exact
Can
moment.
Danielle
Come
hit him?
back.
You are an embarrassment to all of us. Your mother would be weeping if she was still alive.
Someone kill him, because I'm not in there.
Did I slip meat in his pocket?
Do it right now.
But I'm wondering if I already did.
Well, and he looks over at the dog who's like got like this, it's got Lord Barristan like huddled in the corner. Orthus, get back to your. Where is she? Cut to the
It's me outside like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
No. The hearse speeding away from the funeral. Who is actually taking the necklace and doing the switch?
I think I am? Because conceal object, or is that not what that does?
I think if you do the switch and then
Well,
conceal the
you are
object,
in
hold
your
it.
own hearse right now, so
Oh.
you don't have to like do
Yeah.
a fancy
Yeah.
thing. You
Gotcha.
just
Are
have
we
to-
stealing the body? I thought we were just switching the necklace.
We're
You're still-
taking all of it.
You're taking the body to switch the necklace.
Basically, we're pretending to be the real people.
Mhm.
That way, it gets to the proper location.
Oh.
So who is actually doing the switch inside?
I think it could be any of us.
Yeah, it could be
But-
any of you.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
driving.
You're driving.
Oh,
You're
right.
driving.
Well, no. At this point, somebody else could be driving. You
I
should just-
guess I'll do it just because I assume that he
You
gave
have
me
it.
the necklace. So
Yeah.
I'll just,
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Put it back in the case you had from the other one.
Mhm.
What?
What does
The
that mean?
That's a lot.
You put your hands on the body to pull open the necklace, and her eyes open.
Oh, God.
And she starts screaming.
Could I be in there with you?
Well, everyone on the wagon hears it.
Okay. I
Did we
swoop back
get out,
into the
or-
wagon. Well, I am assuming we left with them.
Yeah,
probably.
like
Okay.
during the fracas,
Just
you
run. Cut and run.
Can I knock her over the head with my shillelagh?
Can I convince
Yeah,
her she's okay?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
do.
my first thought was just to kill her.
Do I know what the necklace actually does? Because I have knowledge of sorcery.
Same.
Her
As-
husband is trying to make it look like she was dead, but she's not.
Oh, can I? But can
Okay, whoa. All right, all right.
Wait a second.
Everyone's like, wait, I want to do the thing.
Conspiracy
Okay,
theory.
Yeah.
I have a theory. It is in fact bunnies. All right, go ahead. So you're convincing her to do what?
I'm convincing her that she's like everything's okay. She's fine.
Roll it. I'm gonna say it's probably.
Did you just-
You just rolled 100.
I rolled 100.
Crit fail.
What's your convince somebody?
It's 80.
You could use 2 luck.
Well,
Not on
20
a
luck.
crit fail, I don't
Can
think.
you?
No, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also did roll a
Combo.
Drawback.
a skull.
Can I use my lucky charm?
Is that once per game or is that whenever?
It doesn't say. It just says when you roll both advantage.
It was only. It was not.
Only challenge.
Okay.
Only challenge.
So you can spend luck to calm her down. It's gonna be 20.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I swoop in the back of the carriage.
Okay.
The roof.
For those of you with sorcery knowledge
Yeah.
know that the necklace has no like magical powers. Like it is just a display piece.
Oh.
What the fuck is happening? Okay.
And she's still screaming her head off.
I
Meanwhile,
Knock
who's on
her out.
top of the thing?
I was swooping in though.
You can hear the screams coming through the walls of the thing.
I guess I'm probably up there with you. I'm the last out, so.
And you ride past a squad of 4 City Watch on horseback, and they ride out into the street after you. And
Okay,
start,
okay.
start
I stand
driving.
up on the top and I yell, no, she's giving birth. We're just on our way to the hospital.
On the hearse?
In
On the hearse, yeah. It was the only vehicle available.
All right.
That's actually not terrible.
That is not
Can you
terrible.
convince someone?
Yeah, I'm lying though, which is even
Oh,
better.
great!
So we're going to give you 2 dice for that, because that's ridiculous and I love it. Yeah, we're just going to do that.
43 on my 90.
Okay.
No boons, but that's so good.
All right. Well, you've at least. Do you need an escort, madam?
No, I believe we're fine. We're nearly there.
Give me another roll.
Oh,
shit.
45 on my 90.
With 2 boons.
The lead horse.
Perhaps you can lead the way for us.
Well, that's what they were asking was an
Yeah,
escort
yeah.
as opposed
We
to.
need to make
yeah,
it
no,
sound-
that's
No,
okay. No,
you don't want
I
that.
lied. No.
So you're like, perhaps you could lead that, and then the little kid is like, swat, like, don't do that.
Perhaps you could go back and tell everyone we're fine. Over at the Fool's
Estate.
Fret.
Very well, madam. Might I recommend that Charles is an excellent baby's name.
Charles.
and they
Of course,
and they
of
peel
course.
away from you.
I
So you're just gonna knock her out?
I'm just gonna knock her out.
Okay, I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. Crack. So what do you do?
There, she's fine.
So that
Lilith.
kung fu bets.
Switch the necklace first
Yeah.
while she's knocked out.
Yep.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I assume I did that.
Yeah.
You know what could be very supernatural is if she's not dead.
Yeah, what the
When they
fuck
open
was
up the
going
tomb
on?
to check on the necklace or
Do we just
whatever the
keep
shit.
punching her like every 10 minutes?
I can't animate a non-dead
make-
person.
I can make her real dead.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Not the best idea.
We need to figure out why.
Why do we need to figure out why? Our
It's-
job was
it's
to steal
nowhere
the necklace.
in our job description
So
to
what?
figure out why.
We got the necklace. We
I guess
have a
I will
side
erase
quest.
my note of she is dead.
I mean,
Right, I should put in she's not dead.
I can't do like a sorcery check on her, can I, to see if she's actually like alive?
You can absolutely do that. I imagine that sorcery is like sensing something alive or dead is definitely within the
Can I
realm of...
use size
Right.
someone up to,
size her up.
yeah.
Well, she's sorcering, so we're gonna do that
Okay.
first.
I'm gonna check to see what's up. We is that a 01? That's a one.
We
Okay.
rolled 4 ones
We
this
have
game.
Under a 90.
What?
That's ridiculous.
So
And 100.
I did
Yeah.
roll one drawback. So what's the weird thing that has to? What is the weird thing that has to happen for you to detect whether she is truly alive or dead?
I think I have to probably pull some blood from her heart to see if I can.
With your teeth.
So I think I have to take a bodice dagger and like give her a deep cut,
Okay.
and then just like pull a little
Won't that
bit out
kill her?
and sniff it because that's weird.
But won't that
Oh,
kill her?
yeah.
yeah. I
I
think it just,
mean,
Well, then she'll
Yeah.
know.
Kind of.
Well, she is alive. She is awake again, and she is like, and then she sees you, and you're like, no, and she's like, don't hit me.
are you gonna calm down?
Yes.
can I do some sorcery to stitch her back up?
Well, maybe just leave her
I
alone
think
for a
that you
second.
can. that ritual probably automatically does
Can I
it.
Oh,
read
Nancy
her
seals.
emotions?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Okay, we're here to help you. Why was your family thinking you were dead?
Because that's what we told them?
You and your husband?
No. God, no,
Talia.
not Edward.
Talia.
Who?
Short, yeah.
Was it Jane? Sounds like something Jane would do.
Crazy lady.
Classic Jane.
She was gonna do the switch on the boats on the way over to the docks where she's gonna be interred because that was my plan. And blow up the boat. It was a good plan. I told you it was a good plan.
Did Ariana hire you?
Yes. I'm not there.
No, but we found out that you were still alive, and we thought they were going to kill you, so we took you out of there. Not took you out, but took you out of there.
Well, technically, you did just take me out like a little while ago. I mean,
Well, we didn't
Trust me,
murder you.
You'll
so-
know if I take you out. Or would you not know that I take you
for a
out?
nice dinner. For a nice seafood dinner.
I stick my head in like the window. What's going on now?
It's fine, Dee.
Okay.
Where are you supposed to go?
I've got it.
Ariana was the priestess chick, right?
I thought she was the pirate.
Jane was the pirate chick.
Okay, then
I'm
yes,
gonna guess
she's the
Ariana
priestess.
was the priestess chick,
Yes,
and they were
that's
gonna
correct.
do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, was she not one of her? Not a family.
The
member?
middle daughter.
It is.
What
It's
is-
the eldest daughter.
Whatever.
Oh my god, guys. So as the muscle, I'm gonna put this entire plan together.
I think we bring her wherever she needs to go. Then we create some sort of, I don't know, zombie version of her with disguising.
Okay.
And,
So what was gonna happen was they were gonna inter her at the tomb, and Ariana, her eldest daughter, was gonna help her escape her abusive marriage with Edward, which we learned about from Talia.
I love the fact that the muscles is explaining this because it is that again, it's that Elliot thing of like, oh, you're really a lot smarter than you look.
It's like I did the movie when Silent Bob finally talks.
Christian Kane, call us.
okay.
My advantage is
Skill.
everybody thinks I'm stupid.
Let her get pretended to be interred. Then we will sneak in, steal her, leave the false necklace, and put her where she needs to be with her daughter.
No. If we just drop her off at the procession, Ariana will continue their plan at the tomb, and we won't have to do anything.
But then we also probably won't get paid for this job.
Exactly.
Why?
Because our job
Is to make sure.
is to make sure that no one knows the necklace is gone until she's at the tomb. If she never makes it to the tomb,
She didn't know the necklace was gone. We already switched it.
but she'll never make it to the tomb.
It doesn't say never make it to the tomb. It says no one knows the necklace is stolen until the priests check at the tomb. It doesn't mean that nobody ever finds out ever. It just means they don't know until she gets there.
Okay.
I have
This is why Elliot takes so much notes. Okay, Mary Tam.
I have an influence. There is one group influence. I can obtain a corpse that looks roughly like someone you want it to.
And then I can use create a disguise to make it look even more like we want it to.
But aren't they already going to do that at the tomb?
Who?
The plan was going for okay.
No, hold on. So here's the thing. We can definitely.
We don't know their plan.
Danielle actually has a good point
Yeah,
because Marianne says, "Well, that would have worked, but now I have to try and pretend like I'm dead on a public funeral barge through a 4-hour processional. That was going to be a lot easier once I was under the influence of the poison."
Poison? Romeo and Juliet, come on.
That's why. That's how I was able to convince Edward that I was dead.
Darn.
That's why you're the muscle.
This is why we need
Like
the corpse.
90% there.
I got 90% there.
Yeah.
Corpse.
This close.
Yes.
This close.
And if you're going to help me and you want this necklace, it's yours. I don't care.
You can keep that necklace.
You already switched it, didn't you?
No.
What?
What? I'm assuming we pulled off to the side of the road at this
Yeah.
point in an alleyway.
I can obtain
Maybe in
a
the switch
body that
spot.
looks mostly like yours. Perhaps they could use your garments.
And I'll do some work to make it look even more like you.
Stage makeup.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can be on your merry way and no one's the wiser.
And you don't have to lay there for 4 hours.
Do you know where they were going to pick you up and where you were going to go?
We can make those arrangements.
Okay.
And so we cut to the final scene where the gravediggers are switching the fake body out and are putting in the and you've actually done up Marianne to look a little differently. And she is waiting there with her daughter Ariana, and they're about to get on a horse and basically head the opposite direction. Before they leave, Marianne looks at all of you and says, "Well, I don't quite know what to say. I wasn't expecting... I didn't think that this was going to get pulled off at all, but I'm glad it did, and I'm glad that you were able to help. Now I know for certain that I'll be able to disappear and not have to worry about Edward finding me. You are an exceptionally talented thieves. May I ask how you feel about assassinations?"
I don't carry them out. I just clean them up.
I assume you mean your husband.
Ex-husband.
Perfect.
Consider it done.
She smiles and rides off through the twisted streets of New Dunhaven as the hearse rides off in the opposite direction. And we have a lovely ending to our Dusk City Outlaws job. So, we would like to thank all of you for coming out and hanging out with us and watch us play Dusk City Outlaws. I had a fantastic time running it. I hope everybody had a fantastic time playing it and watching it. Hashtag Ravenstern. Does anybody have any stuff that they want to push? Oh dear. You suddenly become the carrot top of our little gaming group here.
Hi, friends. I am acting in a...
Do I need to move and you come here to the main camera and do it? What do you say, Lord of the Board?
What do you say, Rudolph?
Well, hey, kids! I will be performing in this year's production of Who Killed Santa as Rudolph the Alcoholic Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is my rehearsal puppet. The real one looks a little more like the claymation version you know and love, but he can't come home because he's fancy. So come see us between December 5th and 30th. Thank you.
That is, of course, if you're in the Milwaukee area.
Oh,
But it's a really fun Christmas show that takes a lot of weird shots at the various Christmas entertainments that you may know and love.
It's also super dirty.
Very dirty. Don't bring your kids.
Unless you're a bad parent.
It's an Avenue Q kind of show if you get our meaning. Anyone else have any other shout outs they want to do?
Nah.
Hashtag Heist for the holidays
Heist
because
for
we'll
the
be
holidays.
back.
Thank you for the setup. We are going to be back on the last Sunday of December. That's December 30th, so it is the day before you go out and drink. And we decided that the theme of these 2 one-shots that we're doing to round out 2018 is hashtag Heists for the holidays. We did Dusk City Outlaws today, and in December we're going to be doing a game called Top Secret New World Order. We're going to have some sweet, sweet spy action. Unfortunately, Tawny won't be able to join us because she will be in the middle of a production of her puppet show.
Santa?
Who Killed Santa. Thank you. Thanks for the feed. So please be sure to tune in on the 30th, same time, same place. Oh yes, if you enjoyed what you see here or what you saw here, Dusk City Outlaws was created by Rodney Thompson, who is the mind behind Scratchpad Publishing. All of the stuff that you see here comes in the box, which is why it's an excellent game for people who have either not role-played or if you want to lure some of your friends who are board gamers into the world of tabletop RPGs. You bring this to game night and you can be up and running in 30 minutes or less. It comes with a ton of pre-made adventures in the rulebook, and there are also a ton that are available off of Drive-Thru RPG as PDFs, and they're written by some great authors. Saladin Ahmed, John Rogers, the creator of Leverage, did a couple of these. And Rodney recently ended a Kickstarter for his second kind of one-box game called Spectaculars, which is a fantastic... It uses a very similar system for superheroic role-playing, and it's a very similar thing where you sit down, you make characters, you put them together, and you're good to go within 30 minutes. You sit down at the table and kind of fill out a short multiple choice questionnaire to build the world together. And then you also play in different comic book series in the same world. So maybe one of your groups is going to play the cosmic, Space Cop series, whereas maybe another group of friends is going to play your gritty street vigilante series. And then you'll have crossovers, and it's very, very neat. I'm very, very excited about it. But also, speaking of superheroes, in 2019, we are going to be part of a short series. We're moving to Wednesdays. We're going to be doing every other week from January through March. And we're going to be playing the superhero Powered by the Apocalypse game Masks by Magpie Games. And it's a fabulous... RPG that is it's my favorite Teen Supers RPG because you're going to be fighting bad guys and breaking the rules, but really it's all about figuring out who you are and what your identity is and dealing with the stresses of being a teenager. And our series called Masks Future Shock is going to debut on the 16th of January. That's a Wednesday. So we're going to be shifting days a little bit, and we're going to be coming at you a little more frequently, but we've got some great stuff lined up and support from Magpie Games, to whom we are forever grateful for backing our little our little Cowtown puppet show to support us with some great art and some great things. So please be sure to check that out when we start in January. The easiest way, of course, to get more information is to follow us on Twitter at Theater Mind Play, to follow us on
Instagram at Theater of the Mind Players.
Also,
Facebook, also at Theater of the Mind Players.
anywhere else?
Twitch. Well, yeah.
Twitch.
And Twitch, of course. Twitch.tv/RoboWheeland. If not, you can always follow any one of us. My Twitter handle is the same thing at RoboWheeland, and I will definitely be pestering everybody with more information on when we're playing and what we're playing. So next time we're going to be doing spies, and then in 2019 we're going to be doing superheroes. So for Tony Cheek, Jordan Fishburne, Danielle Bryn, Tawny Thompson, Rudolph, and Ethan Eichstedt Anderson. This is Rob Whelan saying to everyone in the world, just repeat to yourself, it's just a game. I should really just relax.